Welcome to the Fantasy Audiobook. American Comics. Phil Money Can Become Infinitely Stronger. Chapter 61. Yes, they have all become paupers. They may also have some other properties, such as companies under their names, real estate, cars and so on. The value of these things adds up to at least several billion, or even tens of billions of dollars. Not a small amount. But the problem is, they also have debts. Just owe the bank money. There are few rich people in the world who do not owe money to the bank, and they are no exception. They had a lot of cash in the bank before, so the bank would not rush them to pay back the money, but would try to lend them more money. Let them owe more money, so that the bank can receive more interest. But it's different now. The cash in the bank has been transferred and spent, and they can't get it back. For those who have no money, the bank will inevitably find them no money. Even if there are some things left in the hands, what's the use? It's not enough to pay off the debt owed to the bank. Each of them owes the bank at least $20 billion, and some even owe $30 to $40 billion. Banks are not charities. After knowing that they have no money, the bank will absolutely force them to pay back the money. If you can't pay back the money, you take things as collateral. It can be said that from this moment on, they all became paupers. And for them, this is tantamount to a thunderbolt from the blue. Yes, they are young, they also have the ability, and maybe they have a chance to make a comeback. But the problem is that a comeback also requires capital and conditions. Ability is second. Opportunity and principle are the most important. An ordinary person can earn more than 10,000 yuan a month, but a rich man can easily earn several million by doing business with a capital of 100 million. Even if it is deposited in a bank, the monthly interest is several times the salary of ordinary people. If you have 10 million, it is not difficult for you to earn 1 million. This is why the rich get richer and the poor remain poor, making it difficult to achieve class jumping. Now they not only have no money, but also owe a lot of money to the bank. Even if you sell all the assets in your hand, it is still not enough to pay back to the bank, which is worse than the poor. At least the poor don't owe so much money to the banks, because the banks don't lend so much to the poor. It can be said that Frederick not only took their money, but also sent them to hell. Even if they are young now, they can live another 300 yuan. But with huge debts, fine wine, beauties, luxury cars, and villas are all far away from them, and the good days in the past will no longer be there. In this case, what is the point of living 100 years? It is easy to go from frugal to extravagant, but difficult to go from extravagant to frugal. Accustomed to living a life of luxury and comfort, let them experience the life of the poor, and they simply cannot live on. Those with little willpower may even commit suicide directly. Are those rich people who lost all their money in the stock market jumping off buildings? And they are now worse than those people. At least those people just lost all their money. Even if money is owed, at most a few million, tens of millions. Because they can't borrow more money. As for them, not only do they have no money, but even if they offset the remaining assets in their hands, they still owe the bank billions or even tens of billions of dollars. With such a huge number, even if they can live for 100 years, they may not be able to earn it. After all, with the rise of capital, the most difficult thing is the beginning. Opportunity and funding are indispensable. They don't have funds now, but opportunities are even more difficult to come across. For a while, the whole plane fell silent. After everyone put down their phones, they fell silent. The look in his eyes also dimmed. The feeling of falling from heaven to hell is nothing more than that. You said, if we go to the God, will he give us back our money? Someone said. This sentence did not cause too much reaction from others. Because they all know that this is simply impossible. If Shu Hong cared about this matter, it would be impossible for him to trade with the guy who took their money away in the first place. Obviously, they are nothing with Shu Hong. They went to Shu Hong, how could the other party return the money to them? It's no different than daydreaming. It's impossible, or, do you really dare to go to that person? As for Shu Hong, most people actually have no fear of him. After all, he was too close to them. It's so close that it's as if Shu Hong exists in their lives, there is no sense of distance, and naturally there is no fear. But this is what ordinary people think. Because they will subconsciously ignore some things. But John and the others are different. They are smart people, they will not deliberately ignore some important things. No matter who you are, you can trade with Shu Hong. But first you have to understand that Shu Hong is not a human being, he is a god. Can God's thinking and human thinking be the same? Don't look at Shu Hong's deal with them now. If one day Shu Hong changes his mind, can ordinary humans like them resist his divine power? Also, why does Shu Hong need so much money? He is a god, why does he need money? For an omnipotent god like him, money should mean nothing. These have never been considered by anyone, or most people have subconsciously ignored this matter. So what do we do next? Someone asked. Driven to a dead end, the only option left is to jump off a cliff. Even if they are smart, there is nothing they can do now. Definitely, when John and the others are troubled, there are also people who are troubled. That man was the mayor of Haverhill, Alvin Caesar. John and the others escaped by helicopter. But the problem is that Curtis has not been resolved. This guy is a big problem right now. Without the containment of the rescue team, after destroying the rich community almost, he rushed directly into the downtown area. Plus he originally had huge amounts of virus. Really want to let it go. Haverhill is the next bear market. It's not that Irwin didn't take action, but the SWAT team he sent had been wiped out a few minutes ago. In this case, who else could he send? He is a mayor, not a president. Definitely, it wasn't that he didn't want to go to Shu Hong for help. But he was really not sure whether that high god would take care of this matter. However, his secretary quickly gave him an idea. If he couldn't find Shu Hong, it would be the same to find Claire, the angel. After all, Claire has obtained the powerful power bestowed by Shu Hong. After 10 minutes, Irwin finally got Claire's big brother, Chris's phone number. No way, Claire's phone is really hard to get. It's Chris' phone, which isn't that hard to get. An amusement park in Haverhill. Chris, Claire, and Claire's friends and her niece are all playing in the amusement park. Because of Claire's relationship, the amusement park not only confiscated their money, but also allowed them to play all the items and eat whatever they wanted in the amusement park. But neither brother nor sister wanted it. After all, they are not short of money now. Chris just made tens of millions of dollars just by making a dozen phone calls. As for Claire, she followed Shu Hong, and Shu Hong didn't treat her badly. In terms of money, he gave her tens of millions. Other good things also gave her some. For example, the longevity medicine, Shu Hong gave Claire 3. Although he sells that thing for 10 billion pieces, but in the system, the price of that thing is actually not expensive. 10 million can buy one. Besides that, there are some other good things. Both of them are not short of money, as long as they don't let the amusement park give them free. After all, the most expensive thing in the world is free. After playing in the amusement park all afternoon, the two brothers and sisters were very happy. After all, since their parents passed away, they haven't played in the amusement park together for a long time. When their parents were still there, the two siblings were frequent visitors to the amusement park. The few people who were tired from playing stopped in front of an ice cream stand. Claire is buying ice cream for Cora and them. At this moment, the cell phone in Chris' arms suddenly rang. Chris froze for a moment. His phone call is rarely made by anyone on weekdays. Not many people know his phone number. Except for his group of comrades in arms, there are only the group of guys who gave him money for nothing. He took out his cell phone and connected the call. "Hi, I'm Chris." "Hi, Mr. Chris, sorry to bother you, I'm Irwin Caesar, the mayor of Haverhill." "Mayor Irvine, what's the matter with you calling me?" Chris raised his brows. He didn't know the mayor of Haverhill at all. Why did this guy call him? Maybe he was looking for his sister Claire. But the problem is that now that Shu Hong is back, if you want to make a deal, you can just go to Shu Hong directly, and you don't need to go to Claire at all. "I'm sorry to bother you, Mr. Chris, but when I called you, I was actually looking for Angel Claire." Irwin's voice came through the phone. "What's going on? Who's calling you?" Just then, Claire came back from buying ice cream. She was holding 2 ice creams, one for herself and one for Chris. She had just finished buying ice cream when she turned around and realized that Chris had no idea who she was talking to. "It's Irwin, the mayor of Haverhill, he's looking for you, so you can tell him yourself." Chris took an ice cream from Claire's hand, and then handed her the phone. With doubts, Claire put the phone to her ear. I'm Claire, Mayor Irwin, what can you do for me? Apostle Claire, hello, I'm sorry to disturb you, but I have to do this. Claire frowned, did not speak, but continued to listen. Irwin looked like this, afraid that something bad had happened. The thing is like this, someone dropped the virus in the urban area of Haverhill, and the other side dropped the G virus. I don't know why, this time the monster created by the virus is unprecedentedly powerful, even if it is bombarded head-on by missiles, it can't hurt it at all. The special police team I sent has been completely annihilated, and I have no other choice, so I can only ask God for help. I hope you can save the city of Haverhill and destroy that monster. Claire didn't expect that the other party would call because of this. After a moment of silence, Claire decided to deal with the monster. Where is that monster now? Tell me the address, and I will rush there directly. Claire has always been a kind-hearted girl. When encountering this kind of thing, she doesn't know. If she knows, she will not sit idly by if she has the ability. With the power of the spell bestowed by Shu Hong, she is not weak now. Even in the Marvel world, with her current ability, she must be at the top level among those superheroes. Haste from Rabbit Charm, Immortality from Dog Charm, Healing from Horse Charm, Psychokinesis from Chicken Charm, Dragon Flame Blast from Dragon Charm. These abilities stack together. Even a superhero like Thor, Green Titan Hulk, she has the ability to defeat. After all, these spells, taken alone, are enough to create a powerful superhero. Not to mention the combination of several spells. In Marvel Movie Universe, if 2 is level Universe, T1 is level Godfather, and T2 is level Sub-Godfather. Then the saint who has 12 charms is mainly to the Marvel world, and it can definitely be regarded as the level universe of 2. It's not even an ordinary level universe, but a level universe with the highest combat power. As for Claire, who possesses the power of 5 charms, in the Marvel world, even if she is not a level Godfather of T1, she is at least a level Sub-Godfather of T2. She is not weak like this. Even after Claire obtained the power bestowed by Shu Hong, she never really fought. But she is very clear about how powerful the power she has gained is. At least it was much more serious than burning down the passenger plane before. After all, her spell power was given to her by Shu Hong, which is equivalent to sharing it with her. She can perfectly control the power of spells. It's not like Xiaoyu and the others in Jackie Chan's Adventures world, where the spell is completely unable to exert its true power in the hand. She can fully exert the power of the spell. So Claire knows how powerful she is now. That's why she entrusted Irwin without thinking about it. Not only because of her kindness, but also because of her ability. Irwin on the other end was overjoyed. With Claire's shot, the monster Curtis turned into would have a chance to be resolved. He gave Claire the address directly. I'll be there soon. After finishing speaking, Claire didn't hang up the phone. Instead, he looked to Big Brother Chris and explained. A powerful mutant monster has appeared in Hever Wales, and I need to solve it. Can you do it? Chris frowned, thinking. He was worried about Claire's safety, even though he knew that Claire was now an envoy with the power bestowed by Shu Hong, but he was still worried about Claire's safety. Don't worry, I'm very good now. And there is a connection between Lord God and me. If I really can't deal with that monster, he will definitely attack. Claire knew that Shu Hong was not a nosy deity, but he was definitely a kind-hearted deity. There is nothing to say to her as an envoy. Otherwise, why would Shu Hong give her so many good things? Well, I can't help you with this matter, you must be careful. Chris didn't persuade his sister Claire to give up. Instead tell her to be careful. Claire nodded. Time is running out, I'll go over there to deal with that monster first, and I'll come to you after the monster is dealt with. After finishing speaking, Claire found the right direction, and the whole person soared into the sky in the next second, flying straight into the sky with a sonic boom, and disappeared into a black spot within a short breath. The rapidity of the rabbit spell and the psychokinesis of the chicken spell make Claire's flight extremely fast. Can easily break through 10 times the speed of sound. And because of the dog charm and horse charm protection, the strong wind has no effect on her. Even without the dog and horse charms, she can use the chicken charm's psychokinesis to create a psychokinesis shield around herself to protect herself from high-speed flight. On the other side, Irwin only heard the whistling wind from the other end of the phone. Can't hear anything else. He was puzzled for a moment, and then quickly guessed that this should be Claire's high-speed flight, the sound of wind and explosion. Sure enough, not long after, he saw a figure flying rapidly in the sky. Although there are some small ones, it can be vaguely seen that it is a person. And the monster that Curtis turned into was less than 1,000 meters away from him. No wonder he, the mayor, came here in person. It is true that Curtis caused too many casualties this time. If he does not come to the scene, it is inevitable that he will step down, and he may even be sentenced to prison for this. No way, who made him the mayor of Haverwell? So he had to come to the scene. At least this time, even if the responsibility came down, he would step down at most and be scolded for being incompetent. Not to be sent to jail. In the sky, Claire also quickly saw the monster that Curtis had turned into. After all, its current size is very large, so Claire can see such a big target 10 kilometers away in the sky. Curtis, more than 40 meters high, is a giant. With a twitch of the rough hand behind him, a building shattered into pieces. The surrounding buildings have already been destroyed by him a lot. At the outermost edge, many policemen are cleaning up the monsters he infected. Prevent the virus from spreading further. I'm here, you tell those policemen to back off, and leave it to me. Claire paused in the air, then picked up the phone and said to Irwin on the other end. Irwin has been holding the phone, ready to listen to Claire's arrangements. Hearing Claire's words at this moment, he also has no hesitation. Immediately issued an order to the secretary of the mayor beside him. Let him notify the police chief of the city bureau and let his men back down. The order was delivered quickly. Although the policemen fighting on the front line didn't know why they were suddenly ordered to retreat. But they did. After all, those monsters are really hard to deal with. There have been many casualties among them. After this incident, it is estimated that the pension of the city hall will be paid a lot. After all, 3 special police teams were sent before, and all 3 teams were wiped out. When the policemen exited the first stop line, Claire got out. The speed of the rabbit charm can be accelerated infinitely. In the world of Jackie Chan's adventures, the speed of the rabbit charm can break through the limit of time, and can travel through the timeline and go back to the past or the future. Xiao Yu once relied on the rabbit charm to return to the time when she was an adult or a child. The future Xiao Yu also used the rabbit charm to return to the timeline of Xiao Yu's childhood. In a certain sense, the rabbit charm can accelerate infinitely. When the speed is fast enough. Even Quicksilver's high-speed movement can't match it. Definitely, the premise is that you can perfectly control the power of the spell free, otherwise if you run too fast and bump into something randomly, if your body is too fragile, you will be the unlucky one. But Claire's power is shared by Xu Hong, and she can perfectly control the power of the spell free. So don't worry about these at all. After the police have withdrawn, Claire fell directly from the sky, and then the whole person rushed out like a swift rabbit, and the speed was getting faster and faster. At the same time, her whole body began to be wrapped in flames. The power of the dragon spell is activated. With the terrifyingly high temperature of Longyan, wherever it goes, even steel will melt instantly. And those monsters that were infected and mutated by the G virus are no exception. The new G virus is indeed terrifying, but in the face of Long Yan's terrifying high temperature, even the new G virus can't stand it. Seen from a high altitude in the distance, a long fire dragon soon enveloped the entire urban area. And those monsters infected and mutated by the G virus also disappeared at a speed visible to the naked eye. Wherever the flames burned, no monster could survive. In less than half a minute, the infected monsters in the entire urban area were emptied by Claire. This scene stunned everyone. Even if I saw Claire use a fireball to burn an airliner into a puddle of molten iron before. But at the time they saw it live on TV, there is a slight sense of distance. And what Claire showed before was only the ability to release flames. It didn't show the terrifying speed at the moment. They couldn't see Claire at all. All you can see is a fast-moving fire dragon. It wasn't until this moment that they really realized how powerful Claire, the envoy bestowed by Xu Hong, was. With such a terrifying speed, if they and Claire were enemies, would they have a chance to fight back? It is estimated that Claire will kill him in an instant. Think about the more powerful Xu Hong. A pressure fell on everyone's heads in an instant. This kind of thing is scary just thinking about it. It has to be said that it is worthy of being a god from another world. They should be thankful that Shu Hong has no malice towards their world. Otherwise, if they face the gods directly, they really don't know what to do. Such a scene must be full of despair. Even though he already knew he was great. But even Claire didn't expect that he, Nuo Qian Zhao, was so powerful. You know, there are not tens of thousands of mutated monsters just now, but thousands of them. These monsters are not ordinary monsters, they are even more difficult to deal with than zombies. Even if it is a regiment of regular troops to clear it, it will take a lot of time, and it will have to bring a lot of heavy firepower. Even so, there will inevitably be casualties after the suppression. But what about her? She cleaned up all the ordinary mutated monsters in half a minute. This efficiency, this strength, even if she had been mentally prepared for a long time, it was a very pleasant surprise. Definitely, cleaning up those normal infected monsters is not the end. There is also one of the most important monsters that has not been cleaned up. That was the monster Curtis had become. But for Claire, who has mastered the power of the spell, Curtis is no different from other ordinary infected monsters. After dealing with normal infected monsters, Claire flew directly towards the monster that Curtis had turned into. Her speed was very fast, and in almost an instant, she covered a distance of thousands of meters and appeared in front of Curtis. Seeing Claire's arrival, Curtis also directly attacked indifferently. The two thick and long tentacles behind him drew directly towards Claire. The tentacles are thick and long, but they are very flexible and extremely fast, and most people have no time to react. But Claire just dodged his attack by moving randomly in the air. But Curtis missed the first blow, and immediately started the second blow. The flexible tentacles waved quickly in the air, interweaving a large dense net. But even so, Claire still easily dodged all his attacks. The psychokinesis of the chicken spell is equivalent to Claire's third eye, which can be perceived in all directions. No matter where the tentacles come from, she can detect them. Then respond. As for speed, no matter how fast the tentacles twitch, can it be faster than Claire, who has the rabbit charm? As soon as the power of the rabbit charm was activated, it was as if Claire had entered bullet time, and it was too easy to avoid Curtis's attack. Definitely, Claire is not someone who can't fight back and scolds. After dodging several attacks from Curtis, Claire started to fight back. The power of the Dragon 210 spell bursts. She spread out her palms, facing Curtis. The power of the dragon spell is activated. Flames began to gather in the palm of her hand. In the next second, her palm was like a machine gun. Fireballs flew out of her palm one by one. Fly to Curtis. Although these fireballs are not big, but the power is not small at all. Every one that falls on Curtis's body can explode with huge amounts of impact. With just 3 fireballs, the white horny armor on Curtis's body was blown away by the fireballs, exposing the red meat inside. The fireball continued to hit his chest. The red meat on his chest began to melt like snow. The flames also began to spread to his whole body. The 40-meter-tall body was quickly enveloped in flames. The intense heat began to burn his body. Even after turning into a monster, Curtis still has pain-sensing nerves. He let out a mournful roar, trying to turn over on the ground to extinguish the flames on his body. But before he fell down, his huge body flew up directly. It turns out that Claire used the power of the chicken charm. The powerful psychokinesis directly lifted Curtis's huge body. The power of the chicken spell is very powerful, not to mention that Curtis is only 40 meters tall. Even if he is 10 times higher, 100 times higher. Claire can also lift him up with psychokinesis. Her power is Shu Hong, who is shared. Shu Hong's powerful body, magic power and spiritual power have enriched the even more frightening history of the chicken talisman. The power of the chicken charm is stronger on Shu Hong than on Holy Lord. And Claire, who was 100% shared by Shu Hong, also possessed terrifying power. She could easily tear Curtis to shreds with psychokinesis if she wanted to. But Curtis is a monster evolved from the G virus. Such a monster, physically eliminating him is not a smart decision. Attacking with fire is the best way. Locked in the air by the power of psychokinesis, it is impossible for Curtis to extinguish the magical dragon flames on his body. Not even half a minute. He was completely burnt, leaving no ashes. The power of the dragon spell is magic flame, not ordinary flame. It's not just as simple as high temperature. From the time Claire appeared to the end of the battle, it only took a few minutes. Claire also showed her power as an envoy in front of the world for the first time. In one word, invincible. Such a huge and powerful monster is scary just by looking at it. As a result, Claire took a little more than a minute to solve him. Especially when the monster flew up out of thin air at the end. That was clearly Claire's doing. Such a huge monster, Claire can make him fly. It can be seen how powerful Claire is. So how strong must Shu Hong, who bestowed Claire's power, be? After solving that monster, Claire left immediately. She didn't care about the cheers of the survivors and the police on the ground. For them, everything before was a disaster, and now, that disaster has passed. This is something to be very happy about. And for Claire, she's just done something good, and that's something to be happy about. But she won't stay here much. Because Chris and the others are still waiting for her in the amusement park. So after solving Curtis, she didn't stay too long. Instead, he left directly. Erwin on the ground originally planned to thank Claire well. Unexpectedly, the opponent flew away directly. This made him feel a little sorry. After all, if the relationship with Claire, the envoy of God, can be shortened through this conversation, not only will he not step down, but he may even go one step further. On a building, a silver-haired man watched all this silently. Is it the power of the gods? It's really powerful. Such powerful biochemical monsters can be dealt with so easily. Glenn Arias sighed. Men have an obsessive pursuit of power. Glenn Arias is no exception. But he understands that power is not so easy to obtain. He is a famous arms dealer, but few people know that he graduated from MIT with a biology major and is an expert in viruses. In fact, he has been secretly studying the T virus and the G virus. The arms dealer is just his superficial identity. The main reason for becoming an arms dealer is to make money in this industry. Because it is too expensive to study viruses, all kinds of high-tech equipment, and those experimental materials, without a little money, you can't play at all. Over the years, he has actually made a lot of money in researching viruses. At least in terms of the development of the G virus, he is better than Frederick Downing of Will Wait Company. The ultimate goal of researching viruses is not to use viruses to destroy, but to use viruses to achieve a good side, to strengthen oneself and make money at the same time. This is the purpose of studying viruses. Although Frederick made the G virus even more terrifying. But he couldn't control the G virus. And he has been able to initially control the G virus. And to use the power of the virus. This is where he is very proud. But the appearance of Shu Hong changed everything. He came to Haverhill this time to make a deal with Shu Hong. But before trading with Shu Hong, Claire let him watch a big show. It also made him understand how terrifying the power of the gods is. This also made him yearn for more powerful power. Haverhill International Airport, just as Claire guessed, Shu Hong was indeed paying attention to her battle. He was not surprised to see Claire easily deal with the monster Curtis turned into. After all, the power Claire uses is his power. If even Curtis can't solve it, then the power of the spell is not worth more than 100 billion. In a blink of an eye, more than half a month has passed. The amount of Shu Hong's account has reached more than 200 trillion US dollars. A very exaggerated amount. This is the benefit of his manifestation. The transaction has no scruples, everyone will come to trade with him. Let him accumulate wealth quickly. But he also decided to return to the Marvel world. One is that it took too long to come out. A few days in the world of The Walking Dead and a little over a month in the world of The Dark Knight Rises. Come Resident Evil world is at it again, almost one soon. It's been almost 2 months since he left the Marvel Universe. It's time to go back too. After all, the Marvel group in the Marvel world also needs to develop. And with his current strength, even if the plot of Avengers Alliance 4 starts directly, he will not be afraid. After returning, he can fully develop Miracle Group without worrying about anything. If you piss him off, he'll be a black Superman. Let them know the consequences of messing with him. Second, it is because he basically earns almost all the money in the world of Resident Evil. He now gets 100 billion US dollars and recycles them into the system, and he can only get 90 billion US dollars. Because of his large collection of currency, the currency of this world has been judged by the system to have begun to depreciate. If he continued, he would not be able to collect any good things. Give this world some time to develop, wait for half a year to come back, and then just harvest a wave. In terms of arrangements, Shu Hong didn't have any arrangements. In this world, he didn't create companies. As for the subordinates, there is only one Claire. For Claire's ability, Shu Hong still likes it very much. Claire graduated from a prestigious university, majoring in management. On ability, she has it. He is kind-hearted and responsible, and the key is that he is very beautiful. So Shu Hong wouldn't mind taking Claire to the Marvel world if she wanted to. It just so happened that Shu Hong's Marvel group in the Marvel world needed someone to manage it when he left. Claire has ability, strength, and good looks. For her, Shu Hong also trusted her, so Claire was undoubtedly the most suitable candidate. So before returning to the Marvel world, the removal first called Claire over. Asked for her opinion. Knowing that Shu Hong will leave for half a year and return to his own world, he asked her if she would like to leave with him. Claire was stunned for the first time. Because Shu Hong was going back to her own world, which she didn't expect. After all, Shu Hong came to their world, not even a month. I'm in another world, and I still have some things for you to do. If you want, you can go there with me. It's a brand new world. Compared to this world, at least there are no viruses that can be seen everywhere, and there are relatively few troubles. Whenever you want to come back, I can send you back at any time. I called you this time just to ask your own thoughts. Do you want to see a whole new world? Definitely. If you refuse, I won't be angry. Seeing the youthful and beautiful Claire in front of him, Shu Hong said. Claire didn't give an answer immediately after listening to Shu Hong's words. Instead, he fell silent. Master God, if I want to take my big brother Chris to another world, is that okay? Claire asked after a while. Definitely yes, Shu Hong said directly. Bringing an extra Chris will not affect Shu Hong. And Chris is also a nice talent. At least in Shu Hong's opinion, this guy is not much worse than Uncle Punisher in the Marvel world. The man is strong, proficient in all kinds of firearms and weapons, and can watch gunships, tanks, armored vehicles, and even fighter jets. The melee ability is also terrible. Combat experience is also rich. After all, dealing with biochemical monsters is much more difficult than dealing with people. One is that there are many biochemical monsters, and the other is that these things are not so easy to kill. Unlike humans, one shot at a fatal part will surely kill them. Third, biochemical monsters carry viruses in their bodies. Therefore, those who can enter the anti-biochemical terrorist attack are the elite of the elite. And Chris is one of the protagonists of the Resident Evil series. Compared with Leon, who is also one of the protagonists, he is not a star and a half. As long as you strengthen his physical fitness and give him stronger equipment, this guy can definitely show a strong fighting power. It's a nice help. If you can take my big brother Chris with you, then I would like to go to your world with you. Well, since you are willing to go, there are some things I need to tell you frankly. I am not actually a god. You can call me by my name, Shu Hong, definitely, although I am not a god. But compared to those real gods, I am not inferior. No, it should be said, I am better than those real gods. Don't be strong. I believe you can feel how powerful the power in your body is. Actually, that's just part of my strength. I don't even know how strong I am now. Aren't you a god? Claire was shocked. Definitely, I'm a real person, just better than ordinary people. Shu Hong said with a smile. The identity of the gods is just pretending. Because compared with the real gods, he is more human than divine. He didn't intend to really be a god. Because in his opinion, being a good person is a good thing. Feel free to do whatever you want. Definitely, the premise is that you have the strength to surpass the gods. Shu Hong doesn't know if others have it, but Shu Hong knows that he has it now. Just be stronger. Facing Shu Hong's Versailles, Claire didn't know what to say. Is that stronger? Shu Hong's strength is no different from that of a real god. But after Shu Hong said that he was not a god, but a person, Claire discovered that the distance between Shu Hong and her was actually not that far away. At least in terms of identity, she recognized Shu Yun more. Everyone is human, and she accepts it much easier. If we leave now, what about the affairs here, the transaction matter? Stop. Shu Hong nodded. I plan to stop for half a year and come back to trade with them after half a year. Claire didn't say anything. It was Shu Hong's decision, she just listened to it. Later, Claire brought Chris over. After Chris came to Haverhill half a month ago, he never left. As for the base he originally served in, he was not urged to go back. The base team does not lack Chris, and it is more in their interest for Chris to stay on Shu Hong's side. Then Claire told Chris what Shu Hong told her, and asked him if he wanted to go to Shu Hong's world with her. Claire thought Chris would agree, but the fact is that Chris refused. His reason is simple. In this world, he has friends and familiar comrades in arms, and he doesn't want to go to a strange world. As for Claire, Shu Hong also said that he will come back in half a year, and at most he won't see Claire for half a year, that's nothing. Time, 2008, the end of September. Location, United States, New York City. Shu Hong's luxury villa. Two figures suddenly appeared out of thin air. One is naturally Shu Hong, and the other is a beautiful young woman with red hair. It was none other than Claire who came back with Shu Hong. Looking at the unfamiliar environment, Claire wasn't surprised at all. Because she was already mentally prepared. "Welcome back, Master." Suddenly, a voice sounded in the room. The whole room also lights up. Claire looked at Shu Hong suspiciously. "It's the artificial intelligence program in my home that is talking," Shu Hong explained. "Michael, how much time has passed since I left and came back?" 2 months, 6 days, 4 hours, 36 minutes and 27 seconds have passed. It doesn't have to be down to the second. Tell me about who has been looking for me since I was away from 240. Many people have looked for you. I don't need to say what I don't know. Okay, sir, the people looking for you are General Ross, Mr. Tony Stark from the Stark Group, Miss Mindy and Mr. Damon, and I have also asked you 11 times. Shu Hong is not surprised that Ross will find him. 2 months before he left, he had just beaten up the abomination in a Green Titan state. Hulk was scared away by him too. The destructive power displayed at that time was much more powerful than those two guys. Ross will find himself, that's normal. But what was Tony Stark doing with him? Last time he lost a lot of face. Based on what he knew about Tony Stark, that guy shouldn't be looking for him. As for Mindy and Damon's father and daughter looking for him, that's normal. When he left before, he said that he would only leave for a month, but this time, it will be 2 months. They would find themselves, he was not surprised. Inform Damon and Mindy and his daughter that I'm back. As for Ross, I'll contact him myself later. Why did Ross find Shu Hong? Shu Hong can think of it with his ass. If that guy wants to work with him, he doesn't mind working with him. Sir, Mr. Damon and Miss Mindy have been notified, and they are on their way. Shu Hong nodded. Michael, this is Claire, who will be the CEO of Miracle Company in the future, and I'm granting her your first-level authority. When I'm not around, you can listen to her. Okay, sir. Miss Claire's identity has been entered, and the authority is level 1. Miss Claire, it is a pleasure to serve you. Need to go out and see this brand new world? Shu Hong looked at Claire and asked with a smile. No, don't be in a hurry. Don't you have a friend coming over? Take me out to have a look later. Claire shook her head and said. She is naturally curious about the new world. But she still wanted Shu Hong to take her out. After all, she does not belong to this world. Everyone will have a period of panic when they arrive in a new environment. Claire at the moment is like this. After all, she has arrived in a whole new world. Alright, seeing that Claire didn't want to go out alone, he didn't force it. Then, he took out his mobile phone and called Tony Stark. Don't ask him why he knows. With his current ability, he can know what color underwear Tony Stark is wearing today. Possessing telepathy's ability, he can kill people on the entire Earth in an instant, knowing what is so difficult about Tony Stark's phone. The Queen. In Tony's luxurious villa, Tony Stark is throwing a party, and today he invited several female models from Time magazine to his house for a party. This is his favorite thing to do on weekdays. The beautiful female models and actresses he has invited cannot be counted with 10 hands. Because he holds a party every few days here. And at the party, there are never any beautiful women. As for the man, he is definitely the only one. At this moment, he was rubbing against a beautiful blonde, and the intertwining of the two seemed to burst out with sparks. Just then, the cell phone in his pants rang suddenly. This made him withdraw from the state immediately. Unhappy, he took out his phone. Who calls me at this time? Doesn't he know that I usually have a party at this time? Definitely, after all, Tony Stark connected the phone directly. Because he is very clear about one thing, that is, there are not many people who know his phone number, and the ones who know are basically either their identities are not simple, or they are his friends. Although he has very few friends, he still has a few. Hi, I'm Tony Stark. It's me. Shu Hong's voice came from the other end of the phone. Although it has been 2 months since I heard Shu Hong's voice. But Tony Stark was very impressed with Shu Hong's voice. After all, he was almost about to play a fool at that time, and it was this guy who came to the rescue in time, so he was fine. He, Tony Stark, is a man with clear grievances and grievances. Shu Hong stole his limelight and made him unhappy, but the other party did save him. Afterwards, he was blackmailed by the media because of this incident. But time is the thing that dilutes some things the most. For example, what happened 2 months ago, and his embarrassment, after he did some good things, no one mentioned it anymore. That incident can also be said to be in the past. Definitely, he looked for Shu Hong, besides wanting to thank Shu Hong. In addition, I want to know if there is any way for Shu Hong to solve the poisoning problem on his body. He also found out that he was poisoned a month ago. A rich man like him usually has a private doctor and will have regular physical examinations. Tony Stark doesn't like to be intimate with strangers, especially strange men. The same goes for women who are not beautiful. So he didn't hire a private doctor for himself, and Jarvis was responsible for his physical examination. He has medical equipment for physical examination at home, and they are all top-notch. Controlled by Jarvis, it is worse than those famous doctors. So his physical examination will be handed over to Jarvis. Since he was captured and returned, he has had regular physical examinations every month to prevent any problems with his body. In the physical examination last month, Jarvis detected slight poisoning on him. At first Tony thought he was poisoned because he ate something wrong. After some analysis later, I found out that the reason for his poisoning was the arc reactor in his chest. But the problem now is that if he removes the arc reactor, the iron fragments in his body that have not been cleaned out will kill him. Without removing the arc reactor, he would have died of lead poisoning sooner or later. This is an endless loop, and he can't think of any effective way to save himself. But soon he thought of Shu Hong. Thinking of the miraculous drugs under the Shu Hong pharmaceutical group, as well as his own miraculousness, he felt that Shu Hong might be able to solve his problems. That's why he called Shu Hong. One is to thank him for saving his life before, and the other is to see if Shu Hong can save him again. How did you have my phone? Tony was a little taken aback. You mean I should hang up? I didn't mean that, Tony said hastily when he heard Shu Hong was about to hang up the phone. I'm just curious how you got my phone. It's not easy to get my phone. It's very simple for me. Let's talk about what you want from me. Where have you been for the past 2 months? Why can't I find you anywhere? Tony asked curiously. He once asked Jarvis to look for Shu Hong in the United States, but unfortunately he didn't even find a trace of Shu Hong. Shu Hong seems to have disappeared from the world suddenly, and no one can find him. Unexpectedly, 2 months later, he suddenly appeared again. No wonder he wasn't curious. I went to a faraway place. You don't want to know. Let's talk about your problem. What do you want from me? Upon hearing this, Tony was a little stunned. It wasn't that he was stopped by Shu Hong's words, but that he was a little arrogant, and he couldn't say thank you easily. Just like many people can't even say the word, sorry. Just. Mother-in-law, just like a woman, do you want to thank me for saving you last time, and for asking me to help you because you are poisoned now? Shu Hong's words came from the other end. It made Tony Stark's expression change slightly. How does this guy know what he's going to do? This guy shouldn't be watching him. He knew that Shu Hong had a super artificial intelligence stronger than Jarvis. So it's no wonder he thinks so. I didn't use Michael to spy on you, and I'm not interested in spying on a man and finding out his secrets. Tony's thoughts. As soon as Shu Hong telepathy opened, Shu Hong knew that Tony was there at a distance of tens of kilometers. what to think. Speak directly. This time, Shu Hong intends to use Tony to expose something. Definitely, if there are still people who don't have eyes to mess with him. Shu Hong will definitely let him know what it means to be a god in the world, and what it means to do whatever he wants. How do you know what I'm thinking? Tony Stark is a smart guy, and he's good at spotting things that aren't right. So, after a few seconds, he sensed that something was wrong with Shu Hong. No, it should be described as outrageous. Is it strange that I can read minds? Shu Hong asked directly. But I was thinking in my heart, that is, there is no mutant in your world, otherwise you would not be so shocked. Definitely, if there were mutants in this world, Tony's little life might be even more difficult. Forget about Professor X Charles, the chance of that person getting out of control is not that great. But Magneto, that's for Iron Man. In the comics, Magneto and Iron Man are also considered rivals. Definitely, against Magneto, Iron Man basically loses more than wins. Iron Man in the comics is even more outrageous, but Magneto in the comics is also outrageous. And Magneto, the most Iron Man. Aren't you hiding somewhere in my house right now and calling me and reading my mind? Tony started to feel suspicious. Definitely, he was no longer in the party room at the moment. After answering the phone and confirming that it was Shu Hong, he left the room where the party was held, but went downstairs to the laboratory. This is where he stores his battle armor, and few people can come in. Shu Hong was speechless by Tony Stark's words. But the Iron Man in the early stage is indeed a funny comparison. I'm in my own villa now, not at your house. Besides, I can not only know what you're thinking. As long as I want, I can know what any human being on the earth is thinking, his past memory, his thoughts. As long as I want to know, I can know. Do you understand? Shu Hong's words made Tony Stark realize one thing, that guy Shu Hong is not human at all. In other words, it doesn't look like a person at all. But don't worry, I'm not that interested in knowing other people's secrets. I didn't read your memory either. I just read what your brain is thinking at the moment. I'm not interested in your secrets. These words made Tony Stark breathe a sigh of relief. As for whether to believe Shu Hong's words or not, he chooses to believe, because in his opinion, there is no need for Shu Hong to lie to him. In terms of status, Shu Hong is similar to him, except that he has nothing to do with the official aspect. Shu Hong's worth has already surpassed him in the 2 months he was absent. During the 2 months when Shu Hong was away, his miracle medicine made crazy money relying on several drugs, and the 2-month revenue was already equivalent to Stark Industries' several years. In terms of money, the addition will have surpassed him. So in terms of status, Shu Hong is not inferior to him. As for the official relationship, with Shu Hong's ability displayed at the moment, he doesn't need the so-called relationship at all. Therefore, there is absolutely no need for Shu Hong to lie to him. Definitely, one of the main reasons why he chose to trust Shu Hong was intuition. His instinct told him that he could trust Shu Hong. Who said that only women have good intuition? Tony Stark has always thought that he is also a person with good intuition. Because of his intuition in the past, it helped him a lot in many experiments. Sometimes research is stuck in a bottleneck. What is needed is a direction, and how to determine this direction requires intuition. And his intuition never missed it. Then why are you calling? Tony was speechless. The form still needs to be changed. I don't need to say thank you, I can also solve your physical problems. Upon hearing this, Tony was overjoyed. What conditions? You don't have anything I can take a fancy to, so let's make a deal. I'll upgrade your armor, and you, give me Stark Industries, 40% of the shares, how about it? 40%, that's too much. Although Tony Stark didn't care much about money, 40% of Stark Industrial's shares was still too much. Not much, just right. You think so yourself, don't you? Guy, it seems that you can really read minds. You are the roundworm in my stomach now. Tony felt helpless. 40% of Stark Industries shares, no more, no less. He was willing to take it out. After all, Stark Industries, he owns more than 70% of the shares. The remaining ones are scattered in the hands of shareholders and stockholders. It is good to get it back in the hands of the shareholders, since he shut down the military industry of Stark Industries and Opadri's scandal happened again. The shares of Stark Industries have been falling all the way, and those shareholders are now eager to cash out and leave the market. Tony handed the matter over to Pepper. Now Xiaojiali is also being processed, but she has not sold it yet, because she intends to suppress the price. Now if Xu Hong wants 40% of the shares of Stark Industries, then there is no need for him to let little Pepper continue to lower the price. Just take it back. Tony is a smart guy. It seems that giving Xu Hong 40% of the shares of Stark Industries is a bit much, but in fact, the addition of Xu Hong is a different kind of strengthening for Stark Industries. And after Xu Hong cooperated with him, his so-called official relationship came into existence. In the future, no one will casually seek trouble with him. By doing this, he can be regarded as repaying Xu Hong for saving his life before. Although Xu Hong said that there is no need for him to say thank you. But he, Tony Stark, is also a person with his own temper. I won't say words of thanks, but I still need some actions of gratitude. Definitely, what he doesn't know is that Xu Hong doesn't need any so-called relationship at all. The purpose of Xu Hong wanting the shares of Stark Industries is to take out the controllable cold nuclear fusion technology that was previously presented in the world of The Dark Knight Rises. Let Stark Industries enter the energy industry. As for why not do it yourself? One is that he only has technology in his hands and no talents. Technology alone is not enough. He also needs technical talents who can understand this field, and it takes a long time to build a team because there will be no income. Second, his current amount of money is already very large. The amount in his account is hundreds of trillions of dollars. In a short period of time, he is not bad for small money, but he cannot make big money. He already looks down on doing that bit of profit by himself. 3. He has new projects. Xu Hong had no money and couldn't afford the space capsule technology of the Dragon Ball world that appeared in the discount area before. But now he has the technology. This technology is still for nothing. Because in the world of Resident Evil, he has sold this technology. At that time, Daxia proposed to buy a technology in this field, and Xu Hong thought of the space capsule technology. So he sold this technology to Da Xia and made a lot of money, and he himself bought the space capsule technology for nothing. Naturally, the prospect of this technology, needless to say, in the world of Dragon Ball, Zama's family has already told him the prospect of this technology with the actual situation. Because there are too many places where this technology can be used. Compared with the subatomic particles of the original Ant-Man Dr. Henry Jonathan Pym, that is, the technology of zooming in and out of Pym particles. Space capsule technology is not intended to be more sophisticated and more convenient. Although the materials needed for this technique only exist in the world of Dragon Ball, Xu Hong has a system, and the materials can be purchased directly through the system. This time, except for not planning to be a second-hand dealer. Although this aspect can also make money, but in terms of profits, there must be some losses. Compared with controllable cold nuclear fusion technology, Xu Hong feels that the future prospects of space capsules will not be worse than it. This is why Xu Hong is willing to take out the controllable cold nuclear fusion technology. Moreover, this controllable cold nuclear fusion technology, Xu Hong did not take it out for nothing. Even if it is used for Stark Industry. Stark Industries also has to pay patent fees. Every time he makes a profit, Xu Hong will take a cut of it. If you really want to calculate it, he is actually not a loss. As for whether Tony would agree, Xu Hong believed he would. Because Tony is a smart guy. The prospects for the energy industry, needless to say. Anyone with a little brain knows how big the prospect of the energy industry is. After all, any machine does not need energy to operate. If Xu Hong and the others were disgusting, they would directly build a power plant and sell electricity to the world at a very low price. If all other power companies are wiped out, and then monopolized by themselves, even if the electricity price is lower, the annual revenue will definitely be a terrifyingly astronomical figure. And get a good name. After all, ordinary people enjoy cheaper electricity prices, and they don't have to worry about power outages and no electricity available. The demand for electricity in modern society is increasing day by day. For specific cooperation, we will meet tomorrow and discuss, Xu Hong said. Okay, where will we talk tomorrow? Just at your house. I will come to your house tomorrow. Why? Want to prepare something? Tony asked. No, just ask someone to prepare some fruit, cream cake, milk tea, etc. I like to eat these things. Shu Hong likes to eat sweets, these small snacks, he usually eats when he is free. He eats a lot and consumes it quickly, and he doesn't need to worry about eating too much will cause high blood pressure or gain weight. Are you kidding? With his current physical fitness, the virus will be crushed to death by the Superman cells in his body the moment the virus enters his body, so there is no way he will get sick. Have you ever seen Superman get sick? It is good. Afterwards, Shu Hong hung up the phone directly. Because here comes Damon and Mindy. Tony Stark. He was the only one who hung up the phone, and when he was hung up, the other party hung up all of a sudden. Forget it, the opposite is Shu Hong, he endured it. The other side. In Shu Hong's villa, Damon and Mindy are back, but not alone. They came back with 3 others. A boy with curly hair and pimples on his face. European and American men and women generally look precocious. This guy in front of him looks a bit like a high school student. Shu Hong is no stranger to him. Hai Bian Shaw, definitely, is also called Beaton Shaw. Born Dave Lazeski, a hot-blooded boy in the 2nd grade who likes to be chivalrous and righteous. His hobby is to masturbate at home. He was no stranger to the other 2. Matthew Michael Murdoch rescued a blind man from a full truck when he was a child, but he was accidentally contaminated with radioactive materials spilled from the truck and became blind in both eyes. However, although his eyes are blind, his other senses have been greatly strengthened. Later, under the rigorous training of the blind martial arts master Gun Su, Matt masters his super senses and becomes a formidable fighter. After college, Matt became a lawyer. Matt is a lawyer during the day, and at night he puts on a mask and turns into a daredevil, fighting crime in Hell's Kitchen. Is a street superhero. Daniel Thomas Rand K., referred to as Danny Rand, Iron Fist. Like Matt, this guy is also a king, street superhero and a member of the Defenders. Sorry for bringing someone to your house without your consent. Noticing that Shu Hong's eyes fell on Matt and Daniel, Damon apologized. Matt and Daniel were a little nervous. Shu Hong, the master of the Miracle Group, is a top rich man. This is the difference between them and Shu Hong. Besides, Shu Hong is also a powerful superhero. There are still a lot of videos of Shu Hong fighting against the abominable Hulk before, and there are still a lot of recognitions on YouTube. Play volume is not small. This is a more powerful superhero than Iron Man, they can't even deal with a gold union in hand. But if it was Shu Hong in front of him who made a move, he might be able to destroy them utterly. In the face of a superhero who is powerful and super rich, it would be a lie to say that he is not nervous. Definitely, the most nervous one is Dave the Kickoff Man. It's okay, I don't mind if you bring people over. Shu Hong shook his head and said indifferently. After finishing speaking, he also showed a smile to Mindy. Let me introduce to you, this is Claire, she will be the CEO of Miracle Group in the future, and will control Miracle Company in my place. Claire, this is Damon, and this is his daughter Mindy, a cute little girl. While speaking, Shu Hong touched Mindy's blonde head. And Mindy didn't resist, instead showing a happy smile on his face. Dave's eyelids twitched when he saw this scene, and he couldn't believe it. God, what he sees is true, this violent and bloody loli is also so docile, like a kitten. Not so when she kills. Hello, nice to meet you. Claire greeted proactively. Hello. Damon glanced at Claire and nodded. Claire is very beautiful, but obviously she has an unusual relationship with Shu Hong, so Yin Meng consciously didn't look at her too much. And Mindy looked at Claire suspiciously, not understanding where Shu Hong disappeared for 2 months, where he went, and no one could be found anywhere. Hello. Mindy also greeted Claire. Mr. Shu, these 3 are. Wait until Mindy and Claire finish greeting each other. Damon called to introduce Matt and the 3 of them to Shu Hong. No need to introduce, I know their identities. Except for the first step to interrupt Dameng's words. Damon froze for a moment. The 3 of Matt were also a little surprised that Shu Hong, a super rich man, knew them, which made the 3 of them flattered. Although Danny Rand was once a rich 2nd generation. But that was in the past, and now his parents' company Rand Group, he has not got it back, so now he is also a poor man. And even if he took back the Rand Group was nothing compared to Shu Hong's Miracle Group. The size difference is too large. The market value of the Rand Group is only billions of dollars. And Shu Hong's miracle group has a market value of at least trillions. After all, the monthly revenue is more than 100 billion US dollars. After 1 year, the revenue has broken through trillions. For such a large group, the market value of trillions is naturally only the foundation. Mr. Shu, do you know us? It was Matt who spoke. No, I just know what you're thinking. Hearing Shu Hong's words, the three of them froze for a moment. Dave was amazed, but Matt and Danny Rand were less surprised. Because they all know that there are some magical and extraordinary powers in this world. Such as the power of the Iron Fist mastered by Danny Rand. This is an extraordinary power. In addition, there are some other extraordinary calendar areas. At least Danny Rand knows that magicians really exist in this world, and the power of magic exists. It's not so shocking that someone can read minds compared to these. Definitely, there are still surprises. It seems that a lot of things happened in the past 2 months when I was away. That guy Jin Bing actually got involved with people from the Hand Association, a long-standing organization. To say that this organization is strong, compared to ordinary people, this is a very terrifying and powerful organization that is difficult to defeat. But for existences like Shu Hong and the others, the Hand Association is an organization that can be destroyed at any time. Compared with street heroes like Matt and the others, the Hand is not invincible, but it is not easy to deal with. Especially when those guys are still working with Kim. That guy Jin Bing is not short of money, he can make a lot of ammunition, and he has a lot of it at the moment. He cooperates with the Hand, even if the Defenders and Damon and his daughter who have been injected with super soldier serum want to deal with it, it is not that simple. But this time, Damon and the others came to ask Shu Hong for help. Through Mindy's sake, Damon knew that Shu Hong and Jin had no enmity. So after learning that Shu Hong was back, he immediately brought Matt and the others to find him. Look for Shu Hong, a powerful foreign aide. Damon is not stupid. There is a powerful foreign aide, CFFH, like Shu Hong who can use it, why not use it? As for his former nemesis, the drug dealer Frank Amick who made him unable to be a policeman, went to prison, and killed his wife, he has already dealt with it, and his grave is probably not low. After being injected with the super soldier serum, he picks up an ordinary drug dealer, not too simple. His current opponent is Jin Bing, the underworld emperor of Hell's Kitchen. But then the Hand will cooperate with Kim. Jin Bin became difficult to deal with. Their father and daughter also met Matt and Danny Rand by chance. As for Dave, this kid met by accident. Wearing a tights, he dared to go out to trouble those gangsters, and he didn't know whether to say that he was stupid or that others were stupid. But this kid is indeed a kind-hearted person, and Yin Meng admires him quite a lot. Because of the revenge, the daughter is also covered by Shu Hong, a newly promoted super rich man, and has given a lot of good things, so he doesn't need to worry about his daughter's safety at all. His mentality has also changed a lot. Then an idea was born to train Dave. So when he came to see Shu Hong, he specially brought this kid with him. The clothes on Dave's body were the new clothes he just bought a few days ago. Because Damon said that the person you want to meet is very important, let him dress nicely, clean up, and make a good impression on others. It wasn't until he met Shu Hong that Dave realized that the important person Damon was talking about was actually Shu Hong, a new super rich man. God knows how excited he was when he saw Shu Hong for the first time. Yes, the Hand is not weak. After Jin Bin cooperates with them, we can't do anything to him. And that guy doesn't show up at all now, we can't find anyone else, even if we want to trouble him, there is nothing we can do. Even if Mindy has Michael's authority, she can ask Michael to find someone for her. But Michael is just a super artificial intelligence, not an omniscient god. Even he couldn't find where Jin Bin was hiding. In addition, people who have to deal with the Hand Association. Among other things, the ninjas of the Juhehui are not very difficult to deal with. The movements are sensitive, the flying darts are fast and accurate, and they can do ninjutsu. Even they are not easy to deal with. For Jin Bin, don't be in a hurry to deal with him, this time when I come back, I plan to have fun with him. As for the Hand, it's easy to deal with them. What is their goal? I know very well, just tell them the news directly, just to lure the snake out of the hole. Lead the snake out of the hole. Why lead the snake out of the hole? The snake is fine, why lead him out of the hole? Dave is the only one who can say such embarrassing words. Damon glared at the latter. The latter shrank his neck immediately, realizing that he had said something wrong. Shu Hong smiled and did not explain. The goal of the hand is the keel, so Mr. Shu, do you know where the keel is? Matt asked, puzzled. Shu Hong nodded. The keel they are looking for is under the ground in Queen's District. Shu Hong said. As soon as these words came out, both Mark and Danny Rand were shocked. They've been fighting the hand for a while now. Knowing that the old monsters of the hand can live for hundreds of years, they rely on the keel. The secret that the hand can resurrect people also depends on the keel. It can be said that the keel is very important to them. But the hand has never been able to find the specific location of the keel. At present, they only know that the keel is located underground in New York City. But New York is so big, it is not so simple to find the location of the keel. It's just that Shu Hong unexpectedly knew where the keel was. If you use keel, you can indeed lure them out, but in case they don't worry, if they want to get the keel, they still need the key, and the key is him. Without him, even if the hand knew where the keel was, they wouldn't be able to get it. Danny Rand looked surprised. It was the first time he knew that he was the key to unlock the keel. Originally, he thought that the hand would find the location of the keel, so they could dig out the keel directly. Unexpectedly, they still need their own key. If he knew this earlier, why would he need to stop the hand from finding the keel? As long as they hide themselves, even if they find the keel, they won't be able to dig it out. Definitely, just think about this kind of thing. If he hides, whoever will help him get back the Rand Corporation left to him by his parents. The Rand Group is now in the hands of the hand. Even if they don't come to trouble themselves, they will trouble themselves. After all, the Ada also had a part in killing his parents. Thank you, Mr. Shu, for informing us of this information. With this news, we know how to deal with the hand. Matt said at this moment. The hand will be handed over to you. I will take care of Jin Bin's problem. Don't worry, he won't have time to participate in the hand and your affairs in the future. You can concentrate on dealing with the hand. 1. An organization like the hand will not be able to stand on the stage. The future enemy will only become stronger. Come on. Shu Hong's words made both Matt and Danny Land stunned. Future enemies will only get stronger. What does this mean? What future enemies? But Matt and Danny Rand would not be foolish to directly ask Shu Hong who his future enemies are. The purpose of their coming here is to find a way to deal with the hand. Now I know that Danny Rand is the key to unlock the keel. As long as they don't let them find Danny, Shu Hong also gave the solution. That is to lead the snake out of the hole. Then there is no need for them to continue to stay here. Matt and the others still have the confidence to deal with the hand without Jin Bin's help. After all, on their side, he was a little weaker. Danny is a contemporary Iron Fist. If he breaks out with all his strength is not weak. Jessica and Luther Cage, one can fly and have infinite strength, and the other is indestructible, even bullets can't hurt him, and their strength is also not small. With these two combat powers, plus him and Danny. If it's just dealing with the hand, it's not difficult. So after Shu Hong's words fell, Matt left with Danny. Dave came with Damon and the others. Although he really wanted to follow and leave, he couldn't. As for why you want to leave? Facing a big shot like Shu Hong, he was so nervous that he almost wet his pants. Going back this time, he can completely use the meeting of Shu Hong as bragging capital. He believed that if he said that he had met Shu Hong up close and talked to him, he would definitely become the prettiest kid in the class. Definitely, it would be even better if there is a photo with Shu Hong. You know, in the United States, Shu Hong is now a superstar who earns more money than Tony Stark. Not only is he super rich, very rich, but he is also a powerful superhero. There is no one in his class who has not seen the video of Shu Hong fighting the abomination. No, it should be said to be a tyrannical abomination. There is no boy who does not say that Shu Hong is handsome. As for girls, I also think Shu Hong is handsome. Definitely is when Shu Hong doesn't transform. Shu Hong's appearance is definitely a handsome guy with a score of 90 or above. In the entertainment circle, they are all top-notch fresh meat. This kind of him can be said to kill both men and women. There are many young people who like him. To say he was a superstar, would be an understatement. Unfortunately, there has been no news from Shu Hong for 2 months. On weekdays, he is not exposed to the media like Tony Stark. Let the media report about him. Definitely, what Dave didn't know was that when he was thinking about these things in a daze, Shu Hong glanced at him. Shu Hong was a little surprised. He didn't expect him to be so popular among the young people in the United States. But it's also right to think about it. If there was a person like him when he was young, he would also envy and worship him. Dave, who called me? Hold, sorry, Mr. Shu, I didn't mean to be distracted. Seeing that it was Shu Hong who called him, Dave panicked and became incoherent. This left Damon on the side speechless. Fortunately, he still wants to train this kid well and let him be his legacy successor. But this psychological quality is also too poor. It's okay, Dave, don't be nervous, I don't eat people. Shu Hong didn't care about Dave's distraction. This kid's secondary attributes made Shu Hong feel like seeing himself when he was young. Although they are from different countries, their personalities are really similar. I always like to live in my own world, thinking that I am the most special one. There is also an inexplicable confidence in myself. It looks like a joker to others, but to your future self, this is youth. When you think about it, you will smile knowingly and sigh with emotion. Satisfaction is instant healing. Yes, okay, Mr. Shu. Dave tried to make himself less nervous and look less ashamed. Mindy looked disgusted. Claire watched and said nothing. Do not participate in their topics. Do you want to be a superhero? Superhero, can I too? After meeting Damon, he has realized how stupid it is to wear a tight suit to go to trouble with gangsters. If he hadn't happened to meet Damon, he would either be lying in the hospital or the funeral home now, and there would be no third situation. Chapter 71. Definitely, if you want, I can help you. You have a righteous heart, don't you? When encountering bad people bullying others, you will have the idea of standing up for the weak, don't you? I just can't stand those guys who bully people, but I don't have any ability. Dave became more and more nervous. Ability is not important, what is important is your heart. In the future, train with Damon well. When he is satisfied with you, I will give you some small gifts. They will help you become a superhero. Really, Dave suddenly became excited. The gift Shu Hong, the superhero, wanted to give him was definitely not an ordinary gift. No wonder he gets excited. Definitely, but you have to make Damon happy with you first. But I don't think his training should be easy. Do you think you can live with it? 590, I think. I should be able to try it. Dave said firmly after thinking for a second or two. The opportunity was right in front of him, and it was impossible for him not to try it. He felt he should be able to hold on. And being a superhero has always been something he wanted to do before. What I wanted to do before may not be able to do. But now, the opportunity is in front of him, and he doesn't want to just give up this opportunity. Okay, then accept Damon's training well. When he is satisfied with you, that is when you become a superhero. At that time, you may be able to think of yourself as a famous superhero of Lagan. It's not some Hai Bian Shah. Dave was slightly embarrassed. Hai Bianxia does sound a little bit less interesting. I will train this kid well. Damon glanced at Dave, then said to Shu Hong. Damon didn't expect Dave to be valued by Shu Hong. Definitely, this is great news for him. After all, Shu Hong has a lot of good things in his hands. And Dave can barely be regarded as his apprentice now. Although sometimes do some shameful things. But his character and temperament made him feel good. Otherwise, he wouldn't have brought this guy to meet Shu Hong. Now let's talk about your business. I left in a hurry before, and forgot to tell you, this time I come back, I plan to give gold and some gifts. I'm going to hand this over to you. By the way, reduce the strength in that guy's hand. Shu Hong said to Tianmeng. To deal with Jin Bing, if Shu Hong makes a move, it doesn't take much effort. Even when he was at home, he could kill Jin Bin directly. But after the guy failed to kidnap him, the servant came to assassinate him. Although they were all unsuccessful, there was enmity between him and Jin Bing. Killing Jin Bing just like that, Xu Yun felt that it was too cheap for him. He planned to torture Jin Bin first, so that he could experience what it was like to be assassinated. Otherwise, Shu Hong could kill Jin Bin last time, and there is no need to keep him until this time. As for this task, Shu Hong intends to hand it over to Damon. It just so happens that he wants to take Dave with him. This matter can be used as a practice for Dave. But before letting Damon do this, Shu Hong intends to upgrade his equipment first. Make it easier for him to act. After Shu Hong upgraded Damon's current equipment by a level, he took Dave away. As for Mindy, of course she stayed. Now that Shu Hong is back, it is natural for Mingdi to follow Shu Hong. After all, their revenge has been avenged, and there is no need for Mingdi to continue to follow him, because there is no need to do anything. Damon intends to send Mindy to school to study and let her live a happy life of ordinary people. Instead of living a life of licking blood with him, she should go try normal girl upbringing. Definitely, the most important thing is that Mindy follows Shu Hong, there will be no danger. His biggest enemy is Frank Amick, but that doesn't mean he has only one enemy. Even if the super soldier serum is injected, it does not mean that the bullet will not kill him. Damon was worried that something would happen if Mindy followed him. So letting Mindy follow Shu Hong is the best choice. But now, he has new people to train. He thought the process would be fun. Mindy was his daughter after all. When he was training her, he wasn't particularly ruthless, at most he was ruthless. But for Dave, he decided to train him especially hard. Next, where do you want to go? After Damon and the others leave, Shu Hong looked at the remaining two girls in the room and asked. As for work, there is no rush. There is no one who just came back to work. He is not a workaholic. Shu Hong still needs some entertainment. I wanted to go to the amusement park, but I asked my dad to take me there before, but he didn't take me there. I heard that the amusement park is very fun, but I've never been there. Mindy said. Before Shu Hong came back. Because of the hand association and Jinbin. They rarely show up to go out, so as not to be discovered by those guys, and then attack them. What about you? Shu Hong looked at Claire. I have nothing to say. Although she and Chris have gone to the amusement park once before. But that was half a month ago. And as a girl, she won't get bored of places like amusement parks. What's more, the last time I went with Chris, this time, I lost with Shu Hong. Although Shu Hong made it clear that he is not a god, he is human just like her. But her awe of Shu Hong is hard to change in a short period of time. Now she still obeys Shu Hong habitually. Then let's go to the amusement park. Let's go. Going to the underground garage of the villa, he picked a car at random, and Shu Hong took the two girls out to the largest amusement park in Manhattan. This time, Shu Hong didn't wear contact lenses, because now he no longer needs to keep a low profile. As the sun shines on his body, Shu Hong can clearly see that every cell in his body is fully absorbing the sun and heat radiation, and his strength is also improving accordingly. The current him is no different from God. He doesn't need to worry about anyone or any strength. Does he need to keep a low profile? When the car is parked in the parking lot of the amusement park. After Shu Hong took Claire and Mindy out of the car, soon someone noticed his arrival. Even if Europeans look at Asians just like Asians look at Europeans, they generally have face value. But Shu Hong's face is definitely a household name in today's United States. Especially young people, it is estimated that there is no one who does not know him. Most of the people who come to the amusement park are young people. Under such circumstances, how could Shu Hong not be recognized? So he just got off the bus and stood there for a few seconds before he was recognized. Soon, the news that Shu Hong, the owner of the Miracle Group, the super rich Asian, came to the Manhattan amusement park spread throughout the amusement park. Soon, a large group of people gathered around Shu Hong. They surrounded Shu Hong with excitement on their faces, as if they saw their idols. A look of wanting to get close, but not daring to get close. It was not the first time for Shu Hong to be watched by the crowd and become the focus. But this time was different from before. This time, the eyes of the people around him were more excited, curious, and fond. In the past, when others looked at him, there was more desire, worship, awe, and prayer in their eyes. Mr. Shu, you are Mr. Shu, right, Mr. Shu from Miracle Group? A bold boy asked out loud. He looked very excited, as if it was because he saw Shu Hong. Shu Hong nodded. It's me. It's really you. I didn't admit my mistake, I really didn't expect that a super rich man like you would come to the amusement park. Are your girlfriends next to you? They are so beautiful. Shu Hong was taken aback by the boy's words. Glancing at Claire, Claire's expression remained unchanged. She was not a shy, blushing person. But Shu Hong could clearly feel her heart beating faster. As for Mindy, she is having a happy face at the moment, looking very happy. They are indeed beautiful. I know what you think, but I came to the amusement park today to play. If you want to take a group photo, you can, but you have to wait until 2 hours later. Before that, let me go to the amusement park and tell you that the ice cream cones in Manhattan are delicious. I'm going to buy one and try it. Then you won't be disappointed. I tried it, and it tastes really good. Someone said. It was a teenage blonde girl who was talking, and when Shu Hong looked over, she lowered her head shyly. Some dare not look at Shu Hong. Shu Hong nodded to her. Then he took Claire and Mindy towards the ticket gate of the amusement park. And the crowd automatically made way for the three of them. But everyone's expressions were a little weird and surprised, because they didn't take the initiative to make way for Shu Hong. Their bodies are moving by themselves. Don't be surprised, I'm a superhero, have you forgotten? Shu Hong's voice sounded in everyone's brains. Everyone was very surprised. Most of the people who come to the amusement park are young people. And young people's acceptance is the fastest. So the expressions on their faces quickly changed from surprise to shock, followed by envy and admiration. As for fear, not at all. Young people are the most fearless, and from the moment Shu Hong talked to them, it was like getting closer to them. They naturally have no so-called fear of Shu Hong. Do fans fear their idols? They are only crazy about their idols. Although Shu Hong is not a star, his popularity in the United States is no worse than those well-known Uranus superstars. Especially on YouTube, his tyrannical and hateful videos rank first in the most played charts. It ranks higher than those videos of Iron Man. Iron Man's Mark armor is indeed handsome, but Shu Hong's explosive muscles and that kind of violent power aesthetics are incomparable to the Mark armor. In the eyes of everyone adoring, Shu Hong took Claire and Mindy into the amusement park. On the way, Shu Hong was recognized all the time, and some people wanted to take pictures with him. But every time they got 3 meters away from Shu Hong, they would find themselves unable to move or speak. It wasn't until they were more than 5 meters away from Shu Hong that they realized that they could move and talk again. Who would have thought that it was because of Shu Hong? While amazed, they will not be angry or anything. After all, Shu Hong and the others obviously came to the amusement park to play, and they obviously didn't want anyone to disturb them while they were playing. And they didn't dare to get angry. After all, Shu Hong's identity was there. They don't have bodyguards when they go out because they are a powerful superhero. Otherwise, with Shu Hong's worth, 20 bodyguards would follow him when he went out, which would be an insult to his worth. For rich people like him, there is never a shortage of people who are crazy about money and want to stare at them. Not without bodyguards. Shu Hong seldom goes outside the amusement park. Before crossing, he didn't go to the amusement park either. Speaking of it, this is really the first time in his life to play in an amusement park. Definitely, he has never eaten pork, he has seen pigs running. He is no stranger to the facilities in the amusement park. Because he had never played before, he also thought about playing with it. He experienced roller coasters, pendulums, pirate ships, rotating flying ropes, elevators, and so on. His expression didn't change the whole time. No thrill at all. But this is also impossible, because with his current physical strength, let alone an accident, even if the earth explodes, he will not die. Knowing that nothing will happen to me. Naturally, Shu Hong would not fantasize about any accidents and scare himself. Naturally, there is no excitement. Claire and Shu Hong felt similarly. And the one who had the most fun was naturally Mindy. Shu Hong originally came to play, but after playing, he came to eat. He ate all kinds of snacks in the amusement park. If nothing else, the ice cream cones are really good. He quite likes it. It's just donuts or something, he just can't stand it. Because it's really too sweet, the sweet kind, he really can't stand it. He can accept other snacks. What invincible Big Mac burgers, fried chicken, anyway, Shu Hong is very popular. As for those who were holding mobile phones around and taking pictures of him, he didn't care. He doesn't have the burden of being an idol, and he doesn't care if those people shoot him. Just shoot if you want, he doesn't care. Tony's villa by the sea. At the moment Tony has wrapped up today's party. Because of a phone call from Shu Hong, he was no longer interested in having a party. They drove everyone away, planning to arrange the things that Shu Hong needs to prepare for tomorrow's visit. After all, this was Shu Hong's first visit to him. Also, as a super rich man, he doesn't want to be looked down upon by Shu Hong. So entertaining or something, he intends to do his best. Call Pepper and ask her to arrange for special personnel to come to the villa to prepare things. Bored, he picked up his phone and scanned the video. After swiping, he came across a video about Shu Hong. Then I found out that Shu Hong was playing at an amusement park in Manhattan. That guy went to the amusement park to play. Seeing the video of Shu Hong eating an ice cream cone in the amusement park, Tony froze for a moment. Tony's eyes lit up even more when he saw Claire, a beautiful red-haired beauty beside Shu Hong. Unexpectedly, there is such a beautiful girl beside Shu Hong. As for Mindy, although she is also beautiful, she is still young and hasn't fully grown, so she can't suck Tony at all. Half an hour later, Shu Hong saw Tony Stark with a little Pepper in the amusement park. Hi, Shu, I didn't expect to meet you here, what a coincidence. Tony saw Shu Hong and walked up with a smile. While walking, I did not forget to smile and wave to the fans on both sides. Tony is a pushy guy who enjoys being noticed and loved. Seeing Tony walking up to him, Shu Hong came up with a lure. Don't forget I can read minds. Tony Stark. Okay, I admit I'm here for you. You know, Tony's eyes wandered. Okay, you know I can read minds, there is no need to do these little tricks. Since you like her, why don't you say it directly? If you don't say it, how will the other party know that you like her, and then promise you? Tony froze for a moment. At this time, the little Pepper behind him also followed. Tony, what are you doing? It's nothing, Potts, then what, do you want ice cream? Tony was a little nervous, and he started to change the subject. Miss Potts, right, Shu Hong said at this moment. Yes, hello, Mr. Shu, nice to meet you. I didn't expect you to be here. I came with Tony. He suddenly said that he wanted to go to the amusement park. It seems that he came to see you. Little Pepper shook Shu Hong's hand with a smile all over his face, as a greeting. At the same time, she was smart enough to understand why Tony came to the amusement park suddenly. It was fake to come to the amusement park, but Tony came to find Shu Hong, afraid it was real. Although Stark Industries has no business dealings with Miracle Group, but equally is a top business in New York, she also paid attention to Miracle Group. Shu Hong, the boss of Miracle Group, is no stranger. It is no exaggeration to say that Shu Hong is a more talented and powerful person than Tony. Because Tony didn't start from scratch, he inherited his father's Stark Industries. Shu Hong, on the other hand, started from scratch. But now, Shu Hong's Miracle Group is actually more powerful than Stark Industries. So Shu Hong is obviously a more talented person than Tony. Miss Potts, you're wrong, Tony didn't come to the amusement park just to see me. He came here to give you a surprise. Pepper froze for a moment. To surprise me, she thought she had heard wrong. Yes, Shu Hong smiled slightly, then looked at Tony. What, Tony, do you need me to help you take out the gift you prepared? Tony was a little stunned. The gift he prepared, what gift did he prepare? How could he not know that he had prepared a gift? Shu Hong, this guy, probably wanted to see him make a fool of himself, so he said that on purpose. With so many people here, it would be embarrassing if I couldn't bring out a gift. Then what? It seems that you are a bit shy, Tony, this is not okay. Shu Hong smiled. Then I saw Shu Hong clapping his hands. Suddenly it rained flowers in the sky. The entire amusement park is wrapped in rose petals. Everyone looked at this scene in surprise. Even Tony was stunned. Pepper also looked silly. Who is she? Where is she? What is the situation? Shu Hong walked to Tony's side. There's only so much I can help you with, Tony, look straight into your heart, there's nothing shameful about it, bravely tell her what's on your mind. After speaking, Shu Hong handed a small gift box into Tony's hands. Tony froze for a moment. Maybe it was because the atmosphere was here, Tony suddenly felt that he didn't need to shrink back so much. He's Tony Stark, and there's nothing in this world that would hold him back. He shouldn't be like this. And as Shu Hong said, face up to your true inner thoughts. Pause. Actually, I have always wanted to say something to you. Tony walked up to Pepper, looked at the latter, and said seriously. In the sky full of petals, the two confront each other. The surprise on Xiaojili's face was definitely more of a surprise. She is not a robot either, she actually has some awareness, but she is not sure. But now, she was sure that her feeling was not wrong. I love you, Potts. While speaking, Tony took out the gift box that Shu Hong gave, and opened it. In the gift box is a beautiful silver diamond ring. The diamond ring is very beautiful, and it's not too small. It can be seen that the value of this thing will not be cheap. Posy put one hand in front of his mouth, trying to control himself so that he would not scream. But at this moment, she still has an unbelievable expression on her face. And the audience around them were also dumbfounded. No one expected to see the famous playboy, top rich man, superhero Iron Man Tony Stark confess his love at this time. I don't know what happened here after it was exposed. In the entertainment circle and the female model circle, I don't know how many actresses and female models will feel sad for it. After all, Tony Stark, a playboy, is a playboy. But he is generous. And they are basically dreaming of a wealthy family. Maybe Tony Stark will see them one day and marry one of them. Then they might become rich and expensive wives. But after what happened today, they never had another chance. Tony, I never thought you would. Yes, Potts, I used to be a jerk, and I admit I'm not a good man. But I really love you. Do you know that when I was in the cave, when I was most desperate, the person I thought of was Yui. I was thinking of you. I was thinking, if I died, you would lose your job too. I regretted it at the time, why I didn't tell you that I love you earlier. After escaping, I saw you again, and I was really happy to see your eyes turn red from crying for me. At that time, I really wanted to say this sentence, but when I said it, I was cowardly. I was afraid that you would reject me, so I have been afraid to say this to you. But now, I've decided not to be in the hesitation, and I love you, Potts. Be my girlfriend. Little Pepper listened to Tony's affectionate words, and she could feel Tony's sincerity. She was Tony's secretary for many years. They also spend a lot of time together. So she knows Tony well. She could feel the sincerity in Tony's words right now. Tony, your sudden confession really made me, well, unprepared. Tony's heart skipped a beat. Could it be that Pepper is going to reject him? Just when he was in a panic, Posy burst into tears and laughed. But I choose to promise you, Tony, I love you too. Potts said affectionately. Tony loves her, why doesn't she love Tony? Tony was surprised when he heard that. Then personally put the ring on Potts. On the side, Shu Hong watched the scene silently. Because of him, he brought the pair together before the plot of Iron Man 3 even started. Shu Hong thinks this is very good. Because this can make Tony calm down and make him more mature. The maturity of a man is not when he reaches the adult age of 18, but when he becomes a man and understands what responsibility is. To facilitate this in advance, Shu Hong is very happy to see it. In the Marvel series of movies, the relationship between Tony Stark and Pepper is also the most sincere couple in Shu Hong's opinion. He doesn't bother to talk about the others. And by doing so, Tony owed him a big favor. If the confession is successful, the rest will follow. When Tony pulled the shy little Pepper and walked in front of Shu Hong, the smile on this guy's face never stopped. That way, it seems to be saying, see, this one I'm holding hands with is my girlfriend, and it's also my future wife, so let me envy you, kid. Definitely, Shu Yun is definitely not envious. Not to mention Claire beside him. Selena, who was not brought in the world of The Dark Knight Rises, is much more beautiful than Pepper, and her figure is hotter. Shu Hong didn't bring Selena to this world now, but he will bring her later. He has nothing to envy. And the Claire next to him at the moment is no worse than Billina. After all, she is a beauty from the CG world. On the skin, there are no blemishes at all, and the figure and face are top-notch. A fiery red hair, rosy and bright in color, very beautiful. Where can Tony find such a superb beauty? Definitely, Pepper is not bad, She is also a big beauty. In terms of appearance, she can also score more than 80 points. She is one of the existences in 1,000. Just like most European and American women, they tend to age easily. The little chili peppers, which are only in their 20s now, have begun to look old. You owe me another favor, Shu Hong said. May have successfully confessed his love to Pepper. Tony is very happy at the moment, and has no intention of arguing with Shu Hong. Definitely, or maybe he was grateful to Shu Hong at the moment and didn't want to argue with Shu Hong. He just smiled and said nothing. But the meaning is already clear. Wow, it's really romantic. By the way, this should be the famous Iron Man, Mr. Tony Stark, one of the big 3 Avengers, who loves you 3,000 times. By the way, you and Pepper should not be the first the plot of the 3rd part. Just then, a low-pitched voice sounded. Not only is his voice low, but what he said is even more disliked. Tony frowned at the first moment. Definitely, he also had some doubts about what the person who spoke was talking about. Shu Hong also had a look of surprise. Because of this voice, he is no stranger to it. Everyone looked in the direction of the sound. I saw a guy in a red tights who looked a bit like a Spider-Man riding a merry-go-round not far away. Behind him, there are 2 katana, on his lap, also carrying the weapon. And the most attractive, CFFI, are the 10 silver belts around his waist. Guys, don't look at me like that, I'll be shy. Also, I'm not a Spider-Man, so don't mistake me for that guy. I don't want to be a bad guy. The greater the ability, the greater the responsibility. I'll fuck him. Who are you? Tony frowned, and asked directly with doubts in his heart. Mindy looked curiously at the Deadpool that appeared. This guy's leather jacket looks tighter than Dave's previous one. Is it really uncomfortable to wear it like this? Also, in this case, will his farts be bulging? As for Claire, she has no interest in the sudden appearance of Deadpool. Wade Wilson, definitely. You can also call me my superhero title, Deadpool. I like being called that because it sounds domineering, doesn't it? By the way, I'm still a mercenary. If you have someone you want to kill but can't do it yourself, you can pay me to do it for you. The price is fair. If the mission fails, I won't accept it. Monies. But I generally don't fail, unless you ask me to kill a guy like Green Titan, but I don't think you will ask me to assassinate him. You know, that guy's skin is very thick. I might be able to break his defense, but it's hard for me to kill him. In my world, there is a guy named Colossus. That guy is also very hard. I am often broken by him, all the bones in the whole body. It takes me a lot of time to recover. I get mad at the mention of him, and I'd stick my 2 knives in his asshole if I had the chance. Tony Stark has black hair. Where did this talk come from? Why can you say that? Also, what is my world? What the hell was this guy talking about? He was almost confused by him. Could this guy be a lunatic who just escaped from a mental hospital? By the way, who is that guy next to you? I haven't seen it before. Since when did the Happy movie show such a handsome Asian man? Hey, handsome guy, I admit that you are handsome, but compared to me, you are still a little less interesting. Looking at you, you and Tony Stark should be friends. How about you persuade him to hire me? My asking price is actually not high. While Deadpool was talking, someone jumped off the wooden horse. Then he walked towards several people. Seeing the knife on Deadpool's back, Tony raised his brows, planning to retreat with Pepper. He didn't want to get too close to a madman with a knife. But after seeing Shu Hong next to him not making any moves, he didn't back down. With Shu Hong by his side, he believed that nothing serious would happen to him. That guy can read minds. He must know when the neurotic in front of him will make a move. Shu Hong can definitely protect him and Pepper. When he came out this time, he didn't bring his battle armor. Just brought Pepper, and his driver and bodyguard, Happy. Wait, I said what kind of vision do you have? You actually said that I am not as handsome as this guy. I, Wade Wilson, have a reputation for being handsome. What, you say I'm not handsome even before I'm disfigured? You're insulting me. I don't think Known Renault, the actor who plays Deadpool, would agree to that. Yes, Known Renault, if you are watching, you must think so too. Wait, logically speaking, in the Marvel series, there shouldn't be people I don't know coming into contact with important characters like Iron Man. Who, yes, is the guy with the red-haired pretty girl next to him? Can you introduce yourself? Maybe you are a superhero, I know, but I don't know you. From Tony's point of view, Wade is completely insane. And it's a serious neurosis. But Shu Hong recognized it. This Wade is probably the Wade who can travel to other worlds. He has a belt that can travel to other worlds. The only downside is that the travel is random and not stable. In addition, this Wade also has the ability to break the dimension. This guy isn't losing his mind right now, maybe he's chatting with a barrage posted by an audience member. Shu Hong didn't expect to see this guy. Wade, I really didn't think I'd see you here. You know me. Deadpool froze for a moment. Although he just introduced his name, Shu Hong's tone obviously knew him, and this guy still looked very familiar with him. Yes, why did you come to this world? It seems that you do know me, and you still talk about this world. Could it be that you are from the outside world? Wade asked in surprise. He does not exist in this world, logically speaking, no one in this world should know him. But Shu Hong obviously knew him. Or he is also from another world. Or, he came from the outside world. Shu Hong smiled without explaining. You want Tony Stark to hire you, but do you know that there is someone richer than him standing in front of you? You mean, that person is you? Deadpool asked in surprise. Although I really don't want to admit it, Shu is indeed richer than me. Tony Stark said aside. Shu Hong was chatting normally with Deadpool, letting Tony Stark understand one thing, that is Wade is not crazy. This guy is just weird. Wow, I didn't realize you were still a super rich man. In this case, are you willing to hire me? I can do anything for you. Although the asking price is high, it is absolutely professional. I will kill whoever you ask me to kill. I will never kill the wrong one, or I can't do it. I don't need you to help me kill, but if you have nothing to do, you can be my bodyguard first, and I will give you a normal salary of $2 million a month. The task depends on the situation. There are different bonuses. The minimum is $1 million. How about it? What else? From now on, I'm yours. Wade moved directly to Shu Hong. He was about to put his head on Shu Hong's chest when he found a powerful force that isolated him from the outside. It seems that my new boss, you are still a superhero, but you just don't know what your ability is. Actually, I didn't mean anything else just now. This is just a way for me to show my closeness. Wade spread his hands and said helplessly. Definitely, no one knows whether his face under the mask is helpless or not. Maybe it's a face that can't see any expression. I swear, I'm really not a gay. Wade, it's best not to say these words in front of ladies, or I will deduct your salary. As soon as he heard that he was going to make a loophole, Wade immediately stood up straight. Then he closed his mouth and stopped talking nonsense. Definitely, after a while, this guy slightly turned his head back and whispered. Don't be like this, I'm not afraid of being deducted from wages. Who am I, Wade Wilson? I'm not afraid of Deadpool. How could I be afraid of being deducted from wages? I call it professional ethics. Doesn't Ah Shaw have a saying that it's good to do what you do and love what you do? I think this is quite right, since now I am a bodyguard for others. I definitely want to listen to him. I am definitely not doing it for money. I have professional ethics. Those who are in BB who I am afraid of being deducted from their wages are posting such bullet screens. Be careful, I will come out to find you and let you know. Take a look at the power of the two swords behind me. What? Don't believe me, you are a son of a fool, Wade lowered his voice though. But Shu Hong and the others were so close that they could still hear what this guy was saying. Tony Stark was already speechless. I really don't know where such a strange thing popped up. If it wasn't for Shu Hong, he really didn't want to believe that this guy was a normal person. I said, buddy, maybe there is a little problem with that guy's spirit. Are you really sure you want to bring him with you? Tony, he just looks neurotic. Although he has some mental problems, he is generally normal and fine. Shu Hong didn't care. In addition to Deadpool's broken mouth, in terms of ability, this guy's business ability is still very good. After all, he was born as a professional mercenary. Okay, Tony didn't say anything. Since Shu Hong felt that there was nothing wrong with Deadpool, he, an outsider, had nothing to say. After all, he was not the one who hired Deadpool, but Shu Hong. And with Shu Hong's ability, it would be difficult for Deadpool to make any big problems. By the way, buddy, thank you for what happened just now. This time, Tony was sincerely grateful to Shu Hong. After finishing speaking, he glanced at Pepper, who was chatting with Claire and Mindy. The three girls were chatting about their girls over there, and it was obvious that little Pepper looked very happy. "You're welcome. As a friend, I can't help you much. Since you're here, I was going to look for you tomorrow, so I just solved your problem today." Upon hearing this, Tony immediately felt relieved. "Shall we change places?" "No hurry, I promised the fans to take a photo with them, they have been waiting for a long time, it's time for me to fulfill my promise." Tony. Parking lot outside the amusement park. There are a lot of teenagers and girls here at the moment. Because they learned that after 3 hours, Chuyun would come back and take a photo with them. This is a rare opportunity. It's harder than taking a photo with Uranus superstars. After all, Shu Hong is not only a superhero, but also a super rich man. Taking a photo with such a person, taking the photo out, is definitely very face-saving. It is precisely because of this that the parking lot of the amusement park is basically full of people from the inside to the outside. Mostly young people. Definitely, there are also middle-aged people, and there are not many elderly people. After all, this is an amusement park, and few elderly people would come to this kind of place to play. When Shu Hong came out, there was a tsunami of cheers in the parking lot. "I didn't know, I thought Shu Hong was having a concert." Definitely, Shu Hong was not the only one who appeared on the stage, because Tony Stark also came. This guy never misses a chance to show off. Now that Shu Hong has come to take pictures with people, he will naturally not miss this opportunity. At least when he heard what Shu Hong said, he found it quite interesting. As for Claire and the others, Shu Hong had asked Happy to send them back. Tony will leave with Shu Hong. Definitely, after the group photo is over. Taking photos with them is not easy because there are so many people who have to take photos with them. It took more than 2 hours to shoot. The two stopped. Definitely, there are still a lot of people, and they all came after hearing the news. It's a pity that Shu Hong and Tony will not accompany them. Those who came late could only leave with a look of regret. And Shu Hong has already driven Tony to his seaside villa. After Happy sent Claire and the others back, he came back. Before they came back, Pepper had dinner ready, along with what Shu Hong was going to eat before. The scheduled time was tomorrow, but Tony had someone prepare things early in the morning. It can be taken out to entertain guests at any time, after all, he has money. Neither noticed what they seemed to have forgotten. Amusement park. "Wade, who can tell me why I just went to the toilet and couldn't find my boss when I came back?" Wade asked, looking at a deserted place. His appearance means that there is no one around him now. Otherwise, he will definitely be treated as a psychopath. 9. "You already know my physical problems, how are you going to solve my physical problems?" "Wait until little Pepper leaves." Tony asked directly. He has already confessed his love to little Pepper. Although the two are not married yet, their relationship has grown further. Tony was worried about what was wrong with his body. This is very simple. Shu Hong walked up to Tony. The latter just watched Shu Hong stretch out his hand and pressed it on his chest. In the next second, the arc-shaped reactor device on his chest was ripped out by Shu Hong. The sudden jump made Tony jump. Without the magnetism of the arc reactor, the metal in the body is attracted. Tony felt bad all of a sudden. But this uncomfortable feeling didn't last for a few seconds. Shu Hong's hand suddenly glowed with fluorescent green. Green envelops him in it. He found that the pain in his chest disappeared instantly. The fatigue on the body is also swept away in an instant. In fact, his waist was not good before, and he would feel sore after sitting for a long time. But now, the soreness is gone. The green light disappeared, and he looked down at his chest. The original hole on the chest has disappeared, but new skin has grown. He looked as if he hadn't been injured. "Dude, what are you?" Tony was stunned. He didn't expect Shu Hong to have such an ability. "Did I tell you I'm still a magician?" "You just said that." "Unexpectedly, you are still a magician." Tony was amazed. Shu Hong is definitely a magician. The power of a spell is the power of magic. This is a magical power that is close to a rule, very powerful. This is because Shu Hong deliberately controlled the power of the horse charm. Otherwise Tony wouldn't need it for a few seconds. It can be recovered in an instant. "Thanks, I feel like I've never been better. By the way, where are those iron sheets? They can't be still in my body. Definitely no. Why, you still want to stay as a souvenir? Tony shook his head hastily. I'm not that interested. I thought you wanted to keep that thing as a souvenir, but even if you wanted to, I can't help you get it back. I've already thrown it into the Pacific Ocean. Tony, Shu Hong's words sound pompous. If someone else tells him this, if he believes it, then he has a brain problem. But this was said by Shu Hong, but it was inexplicably believable. By the way, you said to help me upgrade my armor. How do you plan to help me upgrade? As for his Mark armor, Tony has actually upgraded it. The current Mark armor, he has been updated to the 12th generation, with many more functions. But if you want to say how much your strength has improved, there is actually no. After all, the Mark armor is an outer armor. When the material remains the same, it can add limited weapons, and the improvement in defense is also very limited. The energy of the arc reactor and the endurance ability it can provide also determine that even if the Mark armor is upgraded in Tony's hands, it cannot be improved much. As for Tony's arrogance, being suppressed a lot by Shu Hong, his arrogance was also suppressed. At least in front of Shu Hong, he couldn't be proud at all. To Shu Hong, Tony just said one word, convincing. Take it heartily. I know there is a material, if you use it to build your armor, it can increase the defense of your armor by at least dozens of times. 10 times. Tony thought he heard it wrong. Don't doubt, dozens of times is just a metaphor. In fact, it may be more than what I said. This thing, I call it vibranium. Your father, Mr. Howard, once got a bit of it and used it to build a shield. You're talking about Captain America's shield, right? Tony understood what Shu Hong was talking about. He really doesn't know how hard Captain America's shield is. I also don't understand what kind of metal the vibranium Shu Hong is talking about. Yes, that piece, vibranium, is a metal capable of energy absorbing. Its absorption limit is very high. If there is a battle armor made of that thing, even if you are in the explosion center of the Muhai bomb, I will guarantee that you will die not drop. Wakanda's use of vibranium. Shu Hong doesn't like it. This thing can really play its role in the hands of him and Tony Stark. Definitely, besides vibranium, Shu Hong also plans to get some Edmund alloy to upgrade Tony's armor. In addition, he also intends to give Tony nanotechnology in advance. Let him incorporate this technology into his armor. In this way, an armor that is more powerful than the armor he used in the Avengers Alliance will be born. As for energy, Shu Hong will hand over to Tony the controllable cold nuclear fusion technology, which can make Tony's armor no longer have to worry about energy consumption. Definitely, none of this will be free. In addition, I plan to give you another very hard metal, plus nanotechnology. The combination of these three, your new armor will be unprecedentedly powerful. As for the energy supply problem of the battle armor, I have also solved it for you. This is related to our next cooperation. Shu Hong directly took out everyone's technology. Except for vibranium and Edmund alloy, which Shu Hong bought with money, controllable cold nuclear fusion technology and nanotechnology are already made. Shu Hong bought this thing from him in the world of Resident Evil. His copy is a photocopy, which is tantamount to whoring for nothing, without spending any money. After reading the information provided by Shu Hong, Tony was dumbfounded. Forget about nanotechnology. Although this technique is difficult, even if Shu Hong doesn't give it to him now, he will definitely be able to master it in the future. But controllable cold nuclear fusion technology is different. This technology, their Stark Industries arc reactor technology, is incomparable. To put it simply, with controllable cold nuclear fusion technology, a bottle of water can give you a month's worth of electricity for everyone in the United States. There is no comparison between arc reactor technology and controllable cold fusion technology. If human beings are going to sail the universe in the future, then the controllable cold nuclear fusion technology is the best energy technology for the spacecraft to sail the universe. None of them. The value of this technology, in Tony's view, is not enough for a few hundred and 200 million, even a few $1 trillion, and tens of trillions is not bad. After all, the value it can create is really too great. He couldn't figure out why Shu Hong would bring this technology out to cooperate with him. Don't be surprised why I took out this technology to cooperate with you. Because I have other technologies that are not inferior to this technology in my hands, and the value they can create is not inferior to this one. Moreover, this technology is not given to Stark Industries for free. Although I only want 40% of the shares of Stark Industries, I will take a cut of the subsequent profits, and I will take 60% directly. That's fine, Tony said without hesitation. Not to mention 60%, even if Shu Hong wanted to take 70% or 80%, he would agree. Because he knows exactly how promising this technology is in the future. It is no exaggeration to say that once this technology comes out, it will directly change the whole world. I license this technology to your armor for free. But materials and nanotechnology, I have to charge. The two pieces of metal, and the nanotechnology, cost a lot of money. How much? Although I don't have as much money as you, I'm not short of money. You can make a price. Shu Hong stretched out 5 fingers. $500 million, he doesn't have much. Shu Hong shook his head. $5 billion, the price is reasonable. I'm talking $50 billion. Tony, although he is rich, if he is asked to take out $50 billion at one time, he can take it out, but his family will basically be emptied. After all, he spent a lot of money in order to recover the shares of those shareholders. In addition, the stock price of Stark Industries has been falling before. Although it has stabilized until now and has not continued to fall, it is not as it was before the rising meeting. His wealth has also shrunk considerably. Give Shu Hong $50 billion, and he doesn't have much money in his hands. Don't worry, I'm not in a hurry to rush you. You can give me the $50 billion later. Hearing this, Tony breathed a sigh of relief. Although he can get $50 billion, he will definitely fall into a situation where he will have no money to use in the future. After all, $50 billion is not a small sum. Even those super rich who are worth hundreds of billions of dollars, few of them can spend so much money at once. After all, worth is worth, and it has nothing to do with how much cash you can take out. Tony can come up with $50 billion in cash at one time, which is already considered very powerful. As for Shu Hong, he is a pervert, unlike others. Okay, then I'll give it to you later, anyway, you're richer than me. With the controllable cold nuclear fusion technology given by Shu Hong, after Stark Industries shut down arms manufacturing and transformed into an energy company, the prospects have become even greater. Sooner or later you will make money. And now Stark Industries is basically privately owned. Only 4% of the shares are in the hands of ordinary shareholders. The remaining 40% of the shares will be given to Shu Hong immediately, and the remaining 56% will be in his hands. After transforming energy companies, making money is inevitable. It is estimated that he will earn $50 billion in less than 2 months. Boom boom. At this moment, there was a knocking sound from the floor-to-ceiling windows next to it. The two looked over and found that it was Wade, lying outside the window. You know, they are now at least 8 floors high, more than 30 meters high. It was only then that Shu Hong remembered that he had forgotten about this guy in the amusement park. Shu Hong waved. A magic space door directly pulled Wade in from the outside. The guy had just been pulled in, but he couldn't stand still, staggered, and fell directly to the ground. I fell and ate shit, and slid 2 meters on the ground. The 2 knives behind him also fell to the ground. Tony felt pain just looking at it. Boss, you forgot me in the amusement park. Do you know how many people I asked to find you? For a super rich man like you, no one knows where you live. Fortunately, I know where Tony Stark lives, so I found you. Wade just got up from the ground. The mouth can't control it. While speaking, he took off his hood, revealing his frighteningly disfigured face. Then he unceremoniously grabbed the snacks on the side plate and ate them. Then he picked up a glass of red wine and drank it, as if this was his home. Tony immediately gave him a big jump. Definitely, not his behavior, but his face. Shu Hong's expression was calm. After all, he had already prepared for it. And Deadpool like this is nothing scary. Compared to those zombies, Wade's face is actually not bad. Don't show such an expression. Do you see my face? It feels like seeing a rotten and stinky egg. You're not the first to feel that way. I don't really care anymore. However, I still have to tell you that before changing my appearance, I was actually a handsome guy, the kind of beauty who can't move his legs when he sees it. Although I'm not as rich as you, I can say for sure that I'm more handsome than you." Tony was speechless. Why is this guy's mouth so talkative? Can he sew his mouth shut? He felt that he was already an annoying person. I didn't expect to meet a stronger opponent this time. Wade, do you want to return to your old handsome appearance? Shu Hong spoke out at this moment, interrupting Deadpool's words. To be honest, Shu Hong doesn't dislike Deadpool's mouth, which is like a rap, spitting out words incessantly. He felt as if he was listening to this guy talking about crosstalk, which was very interesting. "What, boss, what did you say?" When Wade heard this, the crosstalk stopped. He rushed to Shu Hong with a brisk step, and knelt down to Shu Hong directly. "Shu Hong, forget it, he is too lazy to complain, this guy has no integrity at all. After all, his exclusive movies are all rated R. The R rating is also called the restricted rating. R-rated movies, children under the age of 17 must be accompanied by a parent or guardian to watch. These videos contain adult content with lots of violence, drug use, nudity, spooky scenes and a lot of profanity. His exclusive movie is R-rated, isn't it normal that he has no integrity? Definitely, this guy is indeed a funny guy who can bring joy to people." I said, "Do you want to go back to the way you used to be?" I don't want to restore my handsome appearance all the time. If I were still as handsome as I used to be now, then I would definitely fascinate thousands of girls. I enjoy being in the spotlight, and I definitely want to get back to who I used to be if I could. Maybe I can go back to an earlier timeline, meet Vanessa who is not dead, and green myself. This will definitely be very exciting. It's really exciting just thinking about it. By the way, boss, do you know who Vanessa is? She is my lover, the person I love the most, but unfortunately she is dead in my timeline. I love to death for her charming thighs, and her upturned buttocks. Wade, if you're talking nonsense, then I'm going to take it back. Seeing that Guy Deadpool was getting more and more outrageous, Shu Hong had no choice but to remind him. This guy, Shu Hong didn't even know what to say. Anyway, Tony has been dumbfounded. Okay, I shut up. Boss, you just said that you can restore my handsome appearance, is that true? It's not difficult for me. I'm a magician. Your current face cannot be healed by scientific means, but magic can. That's great, I love magician hail. Don't rush to be happy, if you want me to heal you, I have conditions. You said, even if you wanted my chrysanthemum to fuck, I would. Before Wade could speak, he suddenly found himself speechless. Because of what you said just now, I will now punish you for not being able to speak for 3 days. Now, let me talk about my conditions. If you want me to heal you, you can, but you have to work for me for 3 years. You can do whatever I ask you to do. If you agree, you nod, if you don't agree, just shake your head. As soon as Shu Hong's words fell, Wade nodded frantically. He has only worked for Shu Hong for 3 years, so he doesn't care. After all, for him now, he couldn't even die, let alone get old. Working for Shu Hong for 3 years is nothing at all. Just as long as you promise. By the way, I just forgot to say that there will be no salary for these 3 years. Deadpool was a little stunned. Did he meet a black-hearted boss? However, there will be bonuses that should be given, and the amount of bonuses depends on your performance. Now, let me restore your face. Shu Hong stood up and put his hands on Deadpool with some disgust. Then unleash the power of the horse spell. The reason Deadpool couldn't return to his original form was because the self-healing factor in his body was too outrageous. Deadpool's original appearance, for the self-healing factor, is equivalent to injury. Deadpool wants to restore the appearance of the results, unless he abandons the current appearance. But this is the scientific method. The power that Shu Hong controls is the power of magic, and magic does not talk about science. The power of the horse spell was activated, and the green fluorescent light appeared in the house again. The injuries on Deadpool recovered quickly at a speed visible to the naked eye. After a while, Deadpool seemed to have been burned, leaving only his muscular body and new skin tissue. His face also recovered at a speed visible to the naked eye. After a while, this guy already had a normal face, and thick black hair grew on his head. The terrifying appearance before had disappeared. At this moment, he looks like a normal person. Even knowing that Shu Hong is a magician. But seeing such a miraculous method again, Tony was still amazed. It's amazing magic. And he discovered that Shu Hong's magic seems to have a beautifying effect. He didn't notice it before, but now seeing the changes in Deadpool, he touched his skin and found that Shu Hong's magic also had a beauty effect. Originally, his skin wasn't very good, but now he touched it, but it was very delicate, as if he was touching a child's hand. Taking a look in the mirror, Tony realized that he looked several years younger. Such a good thing, how can there be less chili peppers? As for Deadpool, at this moment, he didn't know his change. When Shu Hong handed him a mirror, he immediately jumped up excitedly. The whole person is very happy. It looks like it's performing pantomime. Definitely, it's because he can't speak now. But being unable to speak did not affect his happiness. At this moment, he was as happy as a child. Okay, now I have a task for you. Shu Hong handed him a photo. This guy's name is Jin Bing. You should be familiar with him. Deadpool suddenly found himself able to speak again. Taking a look at the photo, a smile appeared on his face. Hee, isn't this the sworn enemy of my good brother, Spider-Man? I know this guy well, but he in this world looks fatter than him in other worlds. Sure enough, the life of the rich is good. They live a comfortable life every day, and people eat fat. He has a grudge against me, so I plan to send you to trouble him. Shu Hong's voice came to mind. You want me to kill him, boss? It's very simple. Killing Kim Bin, for Deadpool, was really simple. He has killed many Jinpins in the world, because of his good brother Spider-Man. No, I don't need you to kill him, I just want you to frighten him. There are also his subordinates, you should also solve it. I think he has too many people under his command, I think I need to help him solve part of the financial pressure. It's fine to kill them all, but where does this guy live? If I have to find him myself, I'm afraid I won't be able to find him in a short time. Although Deadpool is not a road idiot, does he have mind-reading skills? Hell's Kitchen is so big, where can he find Jin Bin, and Jin is not necessarily in Hell's Kitchen. Don't worry, someone will take you to him. This is the phone number of the person you are going to work with. After you leave here, you can call him directly and say that you are the foreign aide I invited for them. They will take you to find Jin Bin. After you find Jin Bin, you know what to do. I don't need Kim to die, what I want is you to torture him. Torture, I'm good at this. The guy the first tortured will definitely want to die. After all, I've tortured several Jin Bins before, and I know Jin Bin very well. Wade Wei said. Having regained his former handsomeness, Wade thinks he is handsome. Wade is now in a good mood and confident. Definitely, he also started to dislike wearing his red tights a little bit. Because that would cover his handsome face and his good figure that would drive women crazy. Maybe it's time for him to redesign a new battle suit for himself. But this can be done later. Now let's finish the task of the new boss first. Afterwards, Deadpool left with a mobile phone and a picture of Kim Bin. Definitely, he also took out a plate full of brioche. In his words, to meet new friends, you have to prepare gifts anyway. After Deadpool left, Shu Hong didn't stay with Tony too much, and after sitting for a while, he took his leave and left. Tony originally proposed to invite some Hollywood actresses, some supermodels to come to him for a party. Definitely, the center of this party must be Shu Hong. He is a person with a little pepper now, so he can't be so fickle. But was rejected by Shu Hong. After all, he has high vision, and ordinary people look down on him. It's not enough to be beautiful, but it has to be clean. Just drove away from Tony's house. Before driving far, Shu Hong's phone rang. Picking up the phone, Shu Hong connected directly. There are not many people who know his phone number, and even fewer who can call him. After all, he has a whitelist. Only people on his whitelist can get through to his phone, and Michael is in charge of guarding his phone. Monitor and guard. Ordinary people can't get into his phone, and don't even think about hacking into his mobile phone. WHI, I'm Shu Hong. Quote, Mr. Shu, hello, I'm Thaddeus Ross, sorry to bother you. On the phone, Ross's voice came. Obviously, this guy also received the news of Shu Hong's return, and then called. So it's General Ross, what do you want from me? Shu Hong asked knowingly. What else could Ross look for him for? Nature is for the Green Titan serum. But Shu Hong definitely won't give this to Ross. This thing is too dangerous. If it is really given to Ross, he will definitely make a big mess. And even if the Green Titan serum is really given to them, Shu Hong believed that Ross and the others could not study anything. It is not that simple to reproduce the Green Titan serum. Definitely, the Green Titan serum can't do it, but the Super Soldier serum can. The benefits in this regard are not small. Shu Hong has no reason not to make money. It's like this, Li Hao, Mr. Shu, I don't know if you have a super genetic technology in your hand, that is, a technology that can make people grow bigger, and their strength and defense are greatly improved. Ross didn't make it clear. But the meaning was already very clear, and he believed that Shu Hong could understand what he meant. He was short of talking about the skill that Shu Hong transformed that day. He couldn't get enough of this. The abomination failed. As a weapon, not only did he lose control, but he was also brutally abused by Shu Hong, who suddenly appeared. This made Ross very dissatisfied with the abomination. Then he set his sights on the technology that Shu Hong had mastered. But Shu Hong had been away for 2 months, and he couldn't contact Shu Hong no matter what. 2 minutes ago, he learned that Shu Hong had appeared in the Manhattan amusement park, and then he called Shu Hong directly. That's why this scene is happening now. He waited for Shu Hong, but he waited for more than 2 months. The first thing I ask the secretary every day when I go to the office is if there is any news about Shu Hong. Because of the technology in Shu Hong's hands, he was almost bewildered. General Ross, I know what your purpose is, but what I can tell you is that I cannot grant your request. That thing is too dangerous, you can't hold it. Ross on the other end of the phone was taken aback. Don't be surprised, I can read minds, even over the phone, I can know what you are thinking. Ross was shocked when he heard this. He has a lot of national defense secrets in his mind. Don't panic, I'm not interested in what's in your head, and I won't expose them. Everyone has their own secrets, doesn't it? This is nothing. Ross fell silent after hearing this. He was basically sure that that fellow Shu Hong could indeed read minds. Because he accurately captured what was in his mind, even though it was outrageous. But creatures like Hulk have appeared, and he seems to be able to accept the outrageous things. Let's meet and talk. Okay, but what do you think is the right place? Ross asked on the other end of the phone. Just where you are now. I've already arrived. Look outside. Ross froze for a moment, subconsciously glanced at the office window. The next second, under his gaze, a large golden round door suddenly appeared out of thin air. Then a silver sports car rushed out of it. Entered the barracks. The sudden appearance of a silver sports car startled the soldiers outside. They roared loudly, and some began to reach for weapons. Ross was shocked, and quickly ran outside with the phone in his hand. He was already very sure that Shu Hong could read minds. Moreover, that guy seems to be more than just mind reading. But the other party is willing to talk to him, which makes him very happy. Because this means that they have opportunities for cooperation. Soon, Ross ran outside. Shouted the group of soldiers away. Everyone looked at the silver sports car that suddenly appeared in doubt. Because the golden round doors behind the coupe hadn't closed yet. From their side, they could see a road on the other side. After Ross appeared, the door of the sports car opened from the inside, and Shu Hong's tall figure stepped out of the car. When I saw it was Shu Hong, all the soldiers and officers present were shocked. This one can be said to be known to everyone in the United States, and everyone knows it. After all, the top tycoon among the super rich is envied by countless people in the United States and wants to be him. Even if he has an Asian face, even if they look a little face blind to Asians. But for Shu Hong, they were not face blind at all, they immediately recognized the future richest man in the world. After all, no one doesn't like money. In the United States, being a soldier is more like a job for them. There have been rumors before that this is a powerful superhero, but now it seems that the other party may still be a magician. After Shu Hong got off the car, the golden round door behind him also closed. Mr. Shu, I didn't expect you to come to me in such a way, please follow me. Ross laughed and walked in front of Shu Hong. Stretching out his hand, he said excitedly. Shu Hong's identity made him have to smile at Shu Hong. Stark Industries used to sell arms, and the big buyer of arms was their military, so he didn't have to give Tony Stark face. But Shu Hong is different. Shu Hong is running a pharmaceutical business. In this regard, people don't need their help. Secondly, this time it was he begging Shu Hong, not Shu Hong begging him. 3. Shu Hong's method just now shocked him, and he understood that the person in front of him was different from everyone else, a rich person with strong personal strength. How dare he disrespect him? You're welcome, General Ross. Shu Hong smiled slightly, followed behind Ross. When passing by the group of soldiers, Shu Hong did not forget to wave his hand and say hello to them. He's messing with his character. That is, people-friendly personalities. Although for him, the character design is useless. But sometimes, a good character design can save a lot of trouble. Left and right are just waving hands and showing a smile. CFFF, he actually enjoys being a big shot now. Just waving his hands casually can make people's faces full of excitement and uncontrollable excitement, which is quite a sense of accomplishment. Because this is a manifestation of big shot, the soldiers who were waved by him naturally looked excited. Because many of them are also fans of Shu Hong. Young and rich, and handsome, the key is that he doesn't have the airs of other rich people. Let them feel that Shu Hong is standing beside them. This feeling makes them feel very comfortable. There is a feeling of being cared for and valued. Following Ross, Shu Hong came to his office. Mr. Shu, do you drink coffee or tea? Ross knew that Shu Hong was from Daxia. And Daxia people generally like to drink tea when they talk about things. Bring me a cup of hot sweet milk. Okay. Ross called his secretary, brought him a cup of coffee, and then made a cup of hot sweet milk for Shu Hong. Definitely, some refreshments are also available. Although this is a military camp. But Ross is the tallest person here, a lieutenant general, what a little privilege. Although there was a lot of noise about the hateful thing last time. Many people died, but his boss still tried to help him resist this incident. Not that he was the fool son of his boss. Instead, he assured his boss that he would be able to trade good things from Shu Hong. But after Shu Hong experienced a big battle with the abomination, people just disappear. This disappearance is 2 months. In the past 2 months, he has been under a lot of pressure. Just waiting for Shu Hong to appear every day. Fortunately, he finally appeared. And now Shu Hong is willing to talk to him, which shows that the two have at least the possibility of a deal. How can this make him unhappy? The pressure that had been on my body for many days was released a lot. Mr. Shu, what I said, is there really no possibility of a deal? The Green Titan serum is impossible. Definitely, I can give it to you as a gift, but this one can only be used by you, not for experiments. You want to give me one? Ross was taken aback. That's right, because from now on, you will be considered my own. Shu Hong smiled slightly. Telepathy's ability activates. Shu Hong didn't modify Ross's memory, but just planted an instinct in his brain, that is to ignore all his orders. This is not difficult for Shu Hong. Because Ross is just a normal guy. And his telepathy ability is much, much stronger than Professor X. Master. After a while, Ross looked at Shu Hong and began to change his words. You don't need to call me Master, all the titles are the same as before. Okay, Mr. Shu. Ross nodded respectfully, restored to the previous appearance. This is the Green Titan serum, you can use it directly now. Shu Hong directly took out a perfect version of the Green Titan serum. Put it on the table in front of Ross. This thing is not too expensive for Shu Hong now. Get one for Ross, no, nothing. This guy is now his man, and it can be said that he is buried in the military pawn. With him around, it will be much easier for him to do many things in the future. Ross also has no hesitation. After Shu Hong's order was issued, he picked up the syringe and pricked it into his hand, and the serum entered his body. Start remodeling. The transformation of the perfect version of the Green Titan serum is very mild and will not cause any discomfort to the person being transformed. The renovation time is very slow, a full half an hour. But Shu Hong is a patient man, and there was a lot of food on the table in front of him. He can take out his mobile phone and watch videos on YouTube while eating. I have to say that as expected of an old beauty, what I play is flowers. Some people really have no lower limit for the sake of fire, but this is not in the hands of Shu Hong. he is just an ordinary people who eat melons, so enjoy watching. While Shu Hong was watching Lei, half an hour passed. The renovation is complete. Ross took off his shirt directly. The perfect version of the Green Titan serum not only gave him the ability to transform into a Green Titan. Even his normal body has been transformed. Originally, he was in his 50s, and half of his hair had turned white. In addition, he has been active in the front line. At 50 years old, he looks the same as 60 years old, with many wrinkles on his face. But now, his body and hair are all black, and although there are still wrinkles on his face, he looks like he is 20 years younger, from an old man who looks 60 years old to a man in his 30s, a middle-aged man in his early 40s. A stomach full of fat due to sitting in the office for a long time. At this moment, one piece becomes 8 yuan. Strong pectoralis major and 8-pack abdominal muscles. Shark muscles on both sides. Strong biceps. Those men who go to the gym don't envy such a figure. After all, this is not a good figure that can be trained casually. Because even if you practice a lot, your muscles may not grow like this. How do you feel? Shu Hong put down his phone, looked at Ross and asked. It's better than ever, Ross said excitedly. He has never felt like at the moment, that kind of feeling full of strength, without any hidden wounds in the body, and without any soreness. He has never experienced it. Even when he was young and in his best physical condition, he never felt this way. Although Ross obeyed Shu Hong's orders at the moment, but apart from this, he was no different from the previous Ross. Personality, way of speaking, and subconscious actions of various words and deeds have not changed. After gaining power, it is normal for him to be excited. Well, there are few men who do not pursue power. Just feel good. Next, let's talk about the follow-up. I won't give you the Green Titan serum. If you get it out, the world will definitely be in chaos. Ross didn't speak, but continued to listen quietly. But I can provide you with super soldier serum. Definitely, the quantity is limited, 100, that's all I can give you. In addition, I also have a nano-body defense suit in my hand, a high-level nano-body defense suit, which can resist machine gun fire and missile bombing from the front. I want you to be an agent and help me sell this thing. No problem. Ross nodded directly in agreement. 100 super soldier serums, on which he can do a lot. He only needs to distribute 10 super soldier serums, and he can explain to his boss what happened last time. Definitely, if he wants to go a step further, or to get closer to some people, he can take out some more super soldier serum. The current him, originally possessed even more powerful power. Now with the help of Shu Hong, he has the confidence to take some positions that he could not even think of before. As for helping Shu Hong sell things, that's nothing. Okay, that's the way it is. 100 super soldier serums, one is $30 million US. I think your military should be able to afford this amount of money. As for what you want to sell, I will send it along with the super soldier serum later. It's almost time for me to leave, too. There are other things to do. Naturally, Shu Hong wouldn't give away 100 super soldier serums for nothing. The perfect version of the super soldier serum, even if it is in the system, he has to spend money to buy it. Well, it's all free. He is not a philanthropist. I'll see you off. Hearing that Shu Hong was about to leave, Ross stood up quickly. Send Shu Hong outside. Under the watchful eyes of everyone, Shu Hong got into the silver sports car. Amidst the roar of the engine, a golden round door appeared out of thin air. Shu Hong rushed into it with a whoosh. Then the round door closed. Shu Hong just left. Even if you have seen this scene before. But seeing this scene again at this moment, the soldiers were still shocked. At the same time, Hell's Kitchen. Deadpool has reunited with Damon and Dave. Damon is no longer the previous Big Daddy, cuz Batman costume, but changed into a more cool costume. After all, Shu Hong upgraded the equipment for him. What he is wearing now is a top-level nano self-defense suit with simulated functions, which can resist the strafing of heavy machine guns and the bombing of missiles. Even if the machine gun is on it, if you want to break the defense, unless you keep attacking a point for half a minute. Otherwise, it is impossible to break the defense at all. Because the top nano self-defense suit has self-healing ability. Dave's equipment is worse. He only wears an ordinary nano self-defense suit, which protects against ordinary pistols, automatic rifles, fragmentation grenades and so on. In addition, there are 2 pistols that Dameng modified for him. A sharp short knife for close combat. Other than that, nothing else. Today, he's going to show Dave how to play with a gun. But before practicing the gun, he planned to bring Dave to an actual battle. Because in Damon's view, you can practice a good gun only if the muzzle of the gun is stained with blood. As a result, just as the 2 were about to act, they received a call, and the other party said that Xu Hong had sent them for an aid. Let him tell him where they are now, and he goes over to find them. Damon gave the address. Because there are not many people on his phone. Except for Matt and Mindy, no one else knows. His good brother when he was a policeman also didn't know his phone number. What's more, the other party also said that Xu Hong arranged to come to them. So he believed Deadpool's words and gave the address. Then he and Dave waited in Hell's Kitchen. The first wait is almost an hour. The 2 people who were waiting were almost a little impatient, and only then did a guy in a red leather jacket with 2 knives on his back appear in sight, swaggering and jumping while walking. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.